link up on this page there. It says that he's going to be gone and I'm hosting the show. Well, unfortunately, he kind of threw this all in my lap at the last minute, so the way we wanted to do it, which would have made it look really cool, just can't do. But so we're going to do this on a Google Hangout. So if you want to come to the show, if you're in the chat room there, leave us a message and we'll get back to you. But for right now, we'll introduce everybody here. I'm Packard Sonic. I am the host of Packard Pokes At, as you can see right here on the bottom here. I'm at youtube.com/Packard Pokes At. Also, join us from left to right, at least left on my screen, is Jade. That is Jade. I'll tell you what. You introduce yourselves. I'm first time I'm talking to these guys here, so
yeah.
I'm a little dark on this, everybody here. So everybody, please introduce yourselves.
Jade?
Yeah, so
Jade.
Anyway, yeah, my name is Jade, and my channel is Meliagris Felis, which is Latin and basically means turkey cat, which is why you see the little turkey cat icon there, right there. So,
and she has plans for world domination with
yes,
turkey
I
cat.
do, and that was in a different Line Go show in which I laid out all my plans, and surprisingly, neither the NSA nor the CIA nor anybody else has come after me yet.
The NSA are coming. The NSA are coming.
I'm Paul Hartley, Paul C. Hartley of the Paul C. Hartley YouTube channel, of the Literally Genesis fame, and I've always been wondering how on earth you pronounce that, Jade.
Oh, there you go. Everybody gets it wrong, which is okay.
No problem.
Meliagris is the genus of turkeys, Felis is cats. So.
And I am Sam, aka It's Rothy Time on YouTube, of not really any fame. I'm just on here on the Line Go show a lot, and as of Friday, I am going to be a published scientist, so that's kind of exciting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Published scientist.
Yeah, before I was just, working haplessly, but now I'll have something to count for it, hopefully.
Well, it's nice to talk to a real scientist every now and then, because it just it makes the life that much more fun. All right, we're going to critique a video tonight. It's called Evolution versus God, and with the star of that video is Ray Comfort. No, I'm sorry. Ray Comfort. He's a who's a. I didn't get, honestly, to be honest, I haven't had a chance to watch this whole video through, but I got about roughly halfway through the second part of it, and it just made me want to climb through my goddamn monitor and strangle the bastard. But that's me.
I like kiwis normally. It's just I don't know what's wrong with that dude.
What's that?
I like kiwis normally. Like I like people from New Zealand normally, and for him, just no.
Yeah,
it's like Flight of the Conchords and Ray Comfort. It's terrible.
I saw this meme recently out on Facebook where it says, instead of saying, people get real offended when people say retarded, so instead of saying that, I say Ray Comfort. So if you're out there and you say something that's absurd like that and you want to use that word, just use Ray Comfort instead. It fits it perfectly, actually. Excuse me a moment. I'm going to put myself away on Skype there. We won't get that annoying announcements there. Okay, I'm going to start playing. Anytime anybody wants to stop, just let me know, and I will pause the audio. Does everybody hear that?
Loud and clear, Captain.
Okay, cool beans. So I might want to check their speakers because it seems it's bleeding back through.
You're an atheist?
I am definitely an atheist, yes.
Now, why are you an atheist?
Why am I an atheist? Because there is
That's
no
PZ
God.
Myers in the video. You can't see it, I know. But
you can disprove the existence.
That's Gail E. Kennedy, PhD.
Agnostic is a more correct term
But I'm an atheist.
Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
I am an atheist, yeah.
I am, yes.
I am.
Random people
So
at
you're
this
not an
point.
atheist.
No.
So you're leaning that way because of evolution?
Yeah. I don't believe in there's a guy in the sky that lives in the sky.
You believe in evolution?
Of course I do, yes.
Live science says of Darwinian evolution. It can turn dinosaurs into birds, apes into humans, and amphibious mammals into whales.
What Darwin
Stop.
showed in his work on it.
Yes.
So he says that evolution can turn apes into humans when actually that's backwards. Humans are apes.
Right.
You can't really. Whereas, and it's the same thing with dinosaurs and birds. Birds are dinosaurs.
Right.
He has it completely already in the introduction before they try to make any substantive points. He's got it backwards.
Right. Yeah, he's got the. There were parts of this, like I said, that just I was like, no, either that or he's taking shit completely out of context. All right, is everybody ready on this? Get going.
Evolution is that we don't need to invoke any supernatural force or power to account for the development of life through time on Earth.
The ongoing processes that are observable in today's world.
Do you think it's a belief?
I think it's just fact.
I think more like facts.
There is too much evidence to ignore.
Do you think it's a belief?
No, it's science.
It's the way it happened.
It's logical.
You know, all the scientists pretty much agree with it.
It's more of a fact.
When did you start to believe?
When I started to think for myself.
When did you start believing?
When I took my first biology class.
It all started to make a lot of sense. The teacher made it very, very easy to understand. I generally trust the scientific community. It makes more sense than any religion or anything. The fossils they have found of all the cavemen, the Homo sapiens, the dinosaurs, it shows clear evidence.
I believe in science.
What's your major here at this university?
Biology.
Your biology major?
Yeah.
You believe in evolution?
Yes.
What's your major?
Geology.
Chemistry?
Biochemistry.
Environmental science and policy. I'm a physicist.
Biochemistry.
Okay, do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do. Of course.
Yes, I do.
I do believe in evolution.
Do you believe in evolution?
Yes.
Are you a strong believer?
Yes.
Okay. Pause for a moment here on this. Now, when they ask these people if they're a believer in evolution, I mean, I don't personally need to believe it because it's fact. You know, facts can be corroborated. So there's belief in a fact I don't think is necessary. What do you guys think?
No, but see, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to confuse the issue. What he's trying to do is what a number of theists try to do is they try to say, well, we believe in God and you believe in science, confusing what is meant by the word belief. And yeah.
I believe there's 7 definitions for the word belief, and there is something like 11 dictionary definitions for the word accept. And only one of all of those definitions is religious belief.
Right.
And his entire... Am I the only one? I think me and Jade have watched this all the way through, but are we the only ones that have actually watched this all the way through?
I haven't.
You haven't.
Okay.
Okay then. I will defer my thoughts on the matter until towards the end. But I will say this: the intended audience is not what you think it is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not. They're trying to discredit atheists in this video. Is basically what they're doing.
Well, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
You don't think so?
No, they're not. Having seen the whole thing, reviewed and critiqued it myself, the audience that you're expecting, that you think it's for, is not the actual audience. He's doing something very clever here, and he's doing it very, very deliberately. But yes, he is absolutely setting up and conflating acceptance with belief, and belief with faith, and faith to be blind faith, which will become apparent later on.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I started seeing that about halfway through, that you try to get people to think that they were, it was a belief, or faith in science, and that's just not what it is, basically.
Well, the way that I see it, and maybe, granted I have my own take on this, is that I think that when it's the thing that he's trying to imply by belief. If you define belief in a certain way, then yes, I believe in evolution.
Right.
Biologist, that makes complete sense to me. But if you define belief the way that I tend to define belief, which is when you can't say that you know, like I believe that capitalism is the best system for America at the moment. I don't know that for sure because I don't know enough economics.
Right.
But when I say that I know something, I can say that I know that we have a capitalist-based system. I can say that because I know it. I don't believe it.
Right.
And that's the difference that I say. When I say that I accept evolution, it's because I know that certain mechanisms did certain things in the past based on reasonable inference.
Right.
What is pitiful is that, and certainly we're only hearing the audio on this, but you have the joyous advantage of being able to actually see what is on the screen. It is the fact that Ray's been making this damn thing for over a year. And apparently he's visited all of these universities all over the land and spoken to all of these people. Yet it becomes apparent there's only about a dozen people that he's actually found that are stupid enough to A, speak to him, and B, fall for his weasel word games that he's playing in this thing.
Well, I can put the video up.
No,
you better not.
Do that. You'll get the MCA'd.
Right, but there was a
I won't do that.
PDF. There was a PDF file that was about this movie, supposedly, that came with the movie, and I know because I actually purchased the movie and downloaded it, and I got the PDF file. And in the PDF file, he talks about how he went to all these different universities and did all this stuff, and yet this is the result. So for those people who can't see what's going on, it's the typical Ray Comfort movie. He goes around and interviews people, mostly young people. And then, of course, we know what happens in the end is he's going to carefully select from all these thousands of people he supposedly interviewed at all these different universities. He's going to carefully select those answers that he wants to fit his agenda. And he makes the same freaking movie over and over and over again, basically.
Yeah, basically, he's doing a cherry picking throughout all the videos. And anybody that was able to answer his questions and make him look like a fool. Oh, trash can.
Yep.
Well, it's also because like a lot of these people I noticed just by the majors that he's talking about. I know, like I'm friends obviously with a lot of people who were or are chemistry majors, physics majors. You have to basically take introductory biology and biochemistry to be a chemistry major under the biochemistry track. So that's like the maximum you have to take, at least at my university. So you don't really know anything in depth about evolution just from taking intro bio. You might, but if you talk to a physics person, I know physics people who never took a single biology class in their life.
And if you notice, when you actually do get to watch the video itself, it will be available, the full thing will be available from August the 7th on the Way of the Master channel. At the moment, it's downloaded for purchase, but it will be available for free. When you do actually get to watch it, notice that not everybody has is labeled up as a biology major or a student or an economics major or a chemist. There are quite a few people amongst that lot that are not labeled, and you have no idea what they could be. They could be the catering staff, for all you know. They really could. They just happen to be at a university.
I mean that's a very strong point to make because, like, I know, look, I'm not trying to trash the film major at all. We have a very good film major at my school that has produced some very, very good Hollywood directors. That being said, I don't trust any of them on any facts of science because you don't have to take a single class in the science wing. Like, these are the people that, if they have to do their natural science and mathematics requirements, they take either general education classes or classes like physics for future presidents, which is just a survey of how nuclear stuff and nuclear power and stuff like that. So it's not even really science.
How to say nuclear?
Nuclear.
And
not particular.
Gary Fody Beatlemaniacs is in a Skype chat. He's watching us, and he wanted to point out that you notice that Ray Comfort doesn't talk to anybody who has a theology background, who might kind of notice this false dichotomy. You know, he's carefully, again, you know, he's not talking to anybody with theology or even a philosophy background that I see of, because they'd be hip to what he's doing right away.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me continue playing on this here. Oops.
Strong believer?
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A scientific method is based on the collection of data through observation and experimentation. Science daily.
Could you give me some observable evidence that evolution is true? Something I don't have to receive by faith.
Yeah.
Some observable evidence.
I mean, take a look at what happened 65 million years ago.
Hang on, I can't. That's 65 million years ago.
I believe, yeah, millions of years.
So that can't be observed.
We can trace the evolution through a record.
I just want to jump right to the screen right now.
Between 6 and 7 million years ago.
Hundreds of thousands to millions of years?
So it's quite a long time. Yes. Millions of years. Yes. So it can't be observed.
Evolution is not testable over time.
We are condemned to live for a few decades. And that's
Do you want to say something, Jade? Okay.
No, I think that was Paul.
That was me.
Or it was you, Sam?
Yeah.
That was...
Well, like, he's confusing what the story that we construct for evolution, the model that we construct versus the mechanisms. The mechanisms have to be testable in real time. We have to demonstrate that things decay in a certain amount of time. We have to demonstrate that fossils form in a certain way.
Right.
That's how science works. That being said, it's assumed as part of science that the laws of nature are fairly immutable. Granted, there are exceptions to what I'm saying, but in the largest amounts of terms, he's being dishonest because he's not differentiating between what the mechanisms are, which is the testable part, and what the observation is. And he's not differentiating between the two.
Oh, absolutely not, because he says it has to be observable. Like you're going to go down and watch traffic. It doesn't work that way. That's why he's trying to get it across. Like, if you're going to go down and have a car like a transformer or something, I guess, you know, watch a car turn into a transformer. I don't know. The guy's an idiot, I guess.
Well, it would in your way up your example, for instance, it might be saying, well, I want to go down and I want to see a Model T Ford turn into a Mustang.
Right.
He's one of these people that I will not believe that paint was once liquid.
Paint can be liquid.
Prove to me that paint was once liquid. No, that is a bucket of paint. Paint is on my wall. It isn't liquid. Prove to me, give me evidence that paint is liquid.
De-evolve that paint on the wall back into the liquid.
I'm a paint creationist. Thank you very much. I am skeptical of your solid faith.
Put the paint back in the bucket. Yeah, get the paint in the bucket.
Put the paint back in the bucket. Yeah. Goofy guy. All right, here we go.
To see evolution going on. Richard Dawkins. We see nothing of these slow changes in progress until the hand of time has marked the lapse of ages. Charles Darwin.
You've got the canine kind, the coyote, and the domestic dog, and there's the feline kind, which is the cats.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right here. He goes into this whole kind nonsense. Okay,
explain hyenas.
Based on basically the words of the Bible, there was two of each kind in the Bible. You know, like the elephants, rhinos, or whatever. You know, the two kinds.
That is just so much poop to
science doesn't work. It's a goofy, disingenuous term to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, what they try to usually debate, I'm just anticipating, and what you've seen Ray Comfort say is, and Nephilim Free is the king of this, is they'll say, oh, well, I don't know, you know, they can't agree on a definition of species, which is not true. they're only debating specific stuff. When it comes to sexually reproducing species, there are basically only 3 definitions. There's the morphological definition, which is, you know, mostly useful for, for fossils. There's sort of the cladistic definition, which is based on characteristics, which is essentially agreed upon and is now replacing the morphological definition because they're very overlapping. And then there's just being able to reproduce with each other. And there's no hard line, and that's because all life is related. And to some degree, it's a superficial distinction. But, you know, and there's more active debate in asexual species. And the idea gets really tricky with, like, species of yeast. Like, I work with yeast, and yeast are both asexual and sexually reproducing species, which is just crazy. But the point is that you never hear any scientists say anything about a kind. There are mountains and mountains and journals devoted to speciation. You never hear any journal devoted to kinds.
No, because it's a bullshit term. Because people back in the time when the Bible was written didn't know the difference of speciation. I mean, and the different and all the stuff that goes into evolution. They just figured, oh, there's this, and then there's this, and then this. Those must be different kinds of things. You know, it's like, just want to pull my hair out when the people, well, there's this kind of animal. Like, no.
Some of them are trying to go back now, and because species didn't work, they tried to go back to genus, but genus didn't work. So now they're looking at families. Right. Maybe a family is a kind, but, you know, they talk about a cat kind and a dog kind. Well, let's look at a mongoose and a weasel.
Well, what don't
they look a lot alike?
Don't they say they bring forth after their own kind, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
I'm a little rusty.
Yeah, but they've changed it, and
so then, what kind is yeast?
Yeah, well, that's a good one, right? But what I was going to say about
I work with. Yeah, go on. Go on.
No, what I was going to say is a mongoose is actually a felid. It's a cat. A weasel is a canid. So it's a dog kind in a sense. So what do they mean even by cats and dogs? But no, what they're trying to say now, see, they keep being really creative. When something doesn't work, they go to something else. So basically what they're saying now, Sam, is that after there were whatever kinds were, okay, this is absolutely hilarious, and it's true, and I think Paul can back me up on this, is they will say that, okay, after the flood, right, you had 2 of each kind, whatever a kind is, but then after the flood, there was apparently rapid speciation.
Hyper-evolution.
Yeah, exactly. That's
evolution on steroids!
Yes, that's how they're trying to explain it.
Because, like, I wanted to do, if I ever had the time and the access, unfortunately, we don't really have a lab that does that kind of analysis. They do similar analysis, and the scientist who's in it is pretty much the world expert on bacterial speciology. But I wanted to do a calculation on what rate the genome would have to just mutate so that you would get all of the diversity of tigers and lions and all of this stuff that just came from 2 organisms.
It literally is a case. Right. I mean, bear in mind, if you look at the time span, you can go back in archaeology and you can look at ancient Egypt, for instance, which quite happens to be in the local area as well. And the archaeology that was the murals and the carvings and various things that have actually been left behind from the period that is no more than about 500-600 years after the flood is supposed to have happened. And you can see carvings of lions and carvings of cats. Okay? Because the Egyptians, they love their cats. Okay? So you can see pictures of domesticated cats and carvings and statuettes of domesticated cats and lions side by side in the same time period. So if a feline kind, of a cat kind, went on the ark, then you must have had speciation over a period of 600 years. 600 years. To give you house cats and lions.
That's insane.
That is insane. So you literally are talking about house cats giving birth to lions. And the thing is, a lion cub is about, at birth, is about the same size as an adult house cat. So, yeah, how does that work?
And my mother complains that my brother was, 7 or 8 pounds, 14 ounces.
Right, but they don't believe evolution. They don't believe the speciation that takes place in evolution. But apparently, God-inspired or God-controlled hyper-evolution is perfectly okay, even though there's no mechanism for it.
I'm trying to think of the generation times. That's got to be on the order of like 50 generations. That's like physically impossible to get a speciation event that quickly.
This is what I'm saying. You are literally getting house cats giving birth to tigers and lions.
Right. Or something the size of a bobcat giving birth to little bobcats and big bobcats. The little bobcats then become house cats. The big bobcats then go on to become bigger cats, which become lions. But you're talking about a matter of a handful of generations. It's ridiculous.
But, of course, we're all told that Noah took the smallest possible variation onto the boat. So he will have taken house cats.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. That's one of their new things, too, is to explain why things were... How you could make enough room on the ark was you had all the little versions of things. What was the little elephant, I wonder? Or did the elephants evolve from the hyrax? I mean, that's the closest relative, isn't it?
They took the pygmy elephant or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the hyrax.
Pygmy elephant, here you go.
Oh, God, yes.
Pygmy elephant, I guess, yeah. That would have been interesting.
Okay. All right. I'll continue playing on this video here.
Tiger and the kitten, and you've got humankind. So Darwin said there'd be a change of kinds over many years. So could you give me one example of observable evidence of a change of kinds?
So, for instance, the fossil record shows the common ancestors of all carnivores, that cats and dogs were once linked, once united by a common ancestor.
How long ago?
This, I believe, was like 60 million years ago.
I don't want something I have to accept by faith. I want it to be observable.
Observable evidence. Well, I mean, if you're just asking me here on the street, there's not really much I can tell you in terms of observable evidence. Like, we would have to really examine existing data to draw conclusions of our own.
I would have to have faith, and
we would have to have some amount of faith.
And you think observable evidence for Darwinian evolution, where he said there'd be a change of kind.
Monkey to man, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a change of kinds.
I don't really believe there's any proof for that yet.
Well, monkeys are the only ones with the 5th digit, like we have.
Koalas have a 5th digit. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You think we're evolved from koalas?
No.
When I went to Washington D.C., I saw they had a whole exhibit just on the.
In the Smithsonian?
Yeah, in the Smithsonian.
Oh wait, so that is just like some stuffed dummies, like standing around a fire.
I know that everyone talks about the missing link for humans and whatnot. I believe that there are connections that are out there that we haven't found yet.
I'm gonna trust what experts did.
Paul, you look like you're screaming to say something here.
Nah, I'm just wondering where my spear gun is and where on earth. Why you never put me within range of this bunch of fucking. We're gonna. The next time I meet these people, I'm going to turn around and say, yes, I do want fries with that.
I put my microphone on mute because we have a thing at my school where during finals week, if you're having a tough finals week, what you do is you do a primal. There's a Facebook event and like a whole posting for a primal scream to get rid of the stress. And right now, that's what I'm doing.
Screaming this whole time? Yeah, I was doing that same thing when I was watching this. I was either clawing my face or clawing the screen. It was one of the two.
Well, it's
the way he's framing these questions makes it almost impossible to answer properly.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure Paul. You being from the UK, I spent some time in England, and when I studied there for a little bit, and I went to the London Natural History Museum, which is a fantastic museum. There's literally a hall of human evolution where you walk down all different lines of evidence that link us to chimpanzees and gorillas, and they explain it in such great detail. Like, you would think that this guy who's devoted his life to evangelizing about it would have at least be that familiar with the data. But he isn't. He's familiar with this bullshit word games that, because he wants to score points.
Do you honestly think that Ray Comfort doesn't know how evolution works? I will put
Oh,
good
I'm sure
money
he-
on the
he
fact
probably
that he
does.
does. I'll explain it later. We're at the end of the film. I'll explain it, but carry on. But
Okay.
I don't for one moment believe that he does not know the way that evolution works. He's had God knows how many thousand people from school age to whenever explaining this shit to him. He knows how it works.
Either that, or he's like a chalkboard that you got broken chalk. He just goes to write it down. Oh, I broke my chalk. I can't write anything down, so it just in one ear and out the other.
No,
So
keep going.
I'll,
Keep
let me
going.
continue on this. Oh, this guy is.
Experts came up with.
I have a strong trust in evolutionary ideas based on the evidence presented.
Can you think of any?
I think that's the best answer I've heard so far.
Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds.
I haven't seen it myself, but I believe what the textbooks tell me about it. So
You've got faith in the expert?
I have faith in the experts. Yeah, I guess similar to how religious people have faith that God actually exists.
Okay, I got to stop again. All right, all right. Generally, I have people come to me and they say, "Oh, well, you got to have faith." I said, "No, I can have trust in something, but and there, in some instances, he's misusing the word faith in this instance. I think he's trying to twist it to make it a faith of religion or religious dogma. I mean,
Damn right. Damn right.
That's the best way I can describe it.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Knowing what they're talking about.
The scientific method must be observable and repeatable. So could you give me one piece of
Like he could say he had faith in his brother or sister, that the fact that they're not going to kill them. I suppose you could use that as that example. But he says I have faith in the evidence. I mean, but that's not a blind faith because that particular faith is built on the evidence that came before it and the trust that you have in all the data that it has right there. I think that's a little different.
observable evidence for Darwinian evolution?
Okay, I would point to, as one great example, is look at the genetics of the stickleback.
What's that?
So stickleback fish are a very interesting collection of species that were recently isolated after the end of the Ice Age.
What do they become?
They're various species of sticklebacks.
They stayed as fish?
Well, of course.
Can you think of any observable evidence where there was a change of kinds?
Here's the change of kinds bullshit he's trying to pull now.
Fish.
Human
Well,
beings are
could I just
fish.
say that
human beings are
Stick
fish?
with it.
Why, yes, of course they are.
Hey.
Couple.
What's that? You want me to stop?
Stick with it because
go ahead.
Sure.
Because he actually goes and pawns him one.
No, go ahead.
I would say stick
Oh.
with the recording because PZ goes and sticks it to Ray. Remember we're talking about kinds and how vague that is?
Yeah.
PZ has a brilliant reply. Just stick with it.
That's... Oh, yeah. All right, here we go.
Billions of years, millions.
A couple of millions? How is that observable?
It's not.
We came out of the ground as a mammal, and one mammal created...
Come out of the ground? Didn't you come out of the sea?
Huh? Well, initially in the beginning, we came out of the ground and the sea. After the great destruction of the
So did we have lungs or gills when we came out of the sea?
you wanna
Never heard of a
think?
fucking amphibian.
Those that were in the sea, I guess, had gills, and those that were on land had lungs.
But if we came
Okay, there are some fish that are alive today that live underwater, and then they can come out and they can breathe on land. They have both vestigial organs. They have both organs.
A lungfish.
I mean, what is that? So what's so difficult of the? Yeah, that's it. Or I've heard also called mud puppies too. I mean, because they come out and
Well,
they kind of like lay in the mud. They can breathe like in the mud there.
there are a
So
number of different
It's the same
kinds.
fucking thing.
Excuse
Came
the
out of the sea,
expression.
we had
Well,
gills.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say there are a number of different. Excuse the word. Kinds. There are a number of different types.
What kinds
of
would that
fish.
be?
I know. There are a number of different types of fish that can breathe air using various different mechanisms. So it's
There you
not
go.
just one. I have to use the word type because I don't dare use the word kind. But yeah, there are
Right.
various different mechanisms for, including like the mangrove rivulet
Or
and
species.
the.
How about
yeah.
use the word species?
Well, in some cases it's more than species. like the climbing perch, and there might be a whole genus or a whole family of fishes that have various different adaptations to allow them to breathe air, including both in fish and in amphibians, cutaneous respiration, which is actually breathing through the skin.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know about
Yeah,
that. If let's say in millions of years after we turn into, I don't know, vapor or whatever we eventually are going to evolve into as a human species, if these fish that can do both, who knows what they're going to evolve into in millions of years from now as well.
Right.
Want to know something? Who knows that when we came out of this, we evolved from mammals?
So you don't know?
Huh? Of course I don't know.
I'm accepting that they did their science correctly.
Could you give me an example of Darwinian evolution, not adaptation or speciation, but a change of kinds?
These are changes of kinds.
They're still fish.
They're distinctly different fish.
We have thousands of examples.
There it is.
I can give you thousands.
Just one.
For instance, I would say look at Lenski's experiments with bacteria then.
So what do the bacteria become?
The bacteria are still bacteria, of course.
So that's not Darwinian evolution. That's not.
He seems to obviously thinks that, like I said this before, he thinks it's going to change, or actually Jade said this, that he thinks that a T Mustang, for Model T is going to change into a modern Mustang, like overnight or something. It's like, no, not even close. But that he's playing this goddamn stupid ass word game.
Well, not only that, you notice the word he uses
It is
here.
a change.
Says
It is a
fish.
Yeah.
But they're still bacteria. So what do the bacteria become?
A new kind of bacterium.
So it's still bacteria.
Oh, I agree, Cheetah. He's trying to make him look stupid using word games.
To summarize, the observable evidence that you give me for Darwinian evolution is bacteria becoming bacteria.
No, it is bacteria acquiring new metabolic capabilities.
You said before that there is lots of evidence for evolution. I just want one observable evidence for Darwinian evolution.
No,
just one.
But I gave you some. You don't want.
Not some. I want one.
Wait, you don't want that.
I want one. Yes, I do. I'm pleading with you.
You asked me to tell you. You asked me to tell you when I've watched one species evolve into another. Isn't that right?
No, one kind into another. There's 14 different definitions of species. So I want a change of kind.
When you're talking about kinds,
word game,
families, you're actually talking about macroevolution. You're talking about changes on the level that separate, say, cats from dogs.
So could you give me any examples of Darwinian evolution?
Well, when you say examples of that, then you have to sort of look at over a longer time frame.
It has nothing to do with faith. Faith is something that I have to, unseen, I have to believe in.
That's it, unseen. Look, do you believe evolution?
Of course I do.
Are you a believer in evolution?
Yes, I am.
When did you start to believe evolution?
I started to believe evolution when I started to think out for myself.
Is evolution a belief?
Well, you know something? Evolution is a thought process. Is coming to terms and checking out all the alternatives, like taking a look at the
this guy gives me a face palm. He can't answer him properly.
He's somebody's dad.
Evolution is well, yeah.
He's just turned up to drop somebody off. He looks like somebody that's been in the Marines or something like that. He looks like
yeah.
You remember the programs, the TV program called, I think it was Scrubs, and there was the janitor.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I remember TV show Scrubs. Yeah.
That's who they've got there, right?
No, sorry,
they've got the goddamn janitor off.
Oh,
Scrubs.
you mean the guy? Oh, you're talking about the doctor, the head honcho doctor
no way.
there.
Neil Flynn?
Like he's like some tough guy. Yeah, I think that's him.
No, the guy that raised into
he kind of looks like him. He kind of does. Look
It's the goddamn janitor.
Yeah, he's got sunglasses on this. Yeah, are you talking the No, you're talking the janitor. I thought you're talking about the head doctor.
Doctor.
Because he kind of looks like him, but I suppose he kind of looks like both actually. Yeah, Dr. Cox.
It's so painful
not the old
to
guy,
listen
but
to. Yeah.
Yes, I know it is. It really
it's
is.
It's really hard.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'll put it.
Oh, okay.
Here, this is what
He
his
does
picture
kind of
looks
look like him.
This
Yeah.
guy here.
It's the goddamn janitor from
Yeah.
Scrubs.
I mean, I think. I think
He's answering the goddamn janitor. Actually, the janitor was actually smarter than Ray Comfort. Of course,
The amazing
so
thing
is Pond
about-
Scum, but you know, I digress.
the amazing thing about this is it's just like I don't know how he expects this to make him look good to anyone with any critical thinking power.
I shall explain that later.
But
I like
It's just an exercise.
Question. He
It's-
says, "I want to ask Ray Comfort." I want to
Go
ask.
on.
He goes, "I want to ask Ray Comfort how many kinds of Christians he knows."
Oh yes.
Well, like it's just he sounds like a fucking lunatic when he interviews the actual scientists.
Oh yeah.
And then when he interviews like the common folk, he's like, "Oh, look at how smart I am." Like I would, I mean, where I'm from, we beat people up for less than that. Like that. It just hurts. Like that's.
All right, I'm gonna continue. Yeah, I know. Watch this. It just
There's a
It
village
just
person
it's just driving me gut. It just drives me bonkers. Yeah, exactly. This guy Ray's an idiot.
You could say it could be a belief.
When you say change of kinds, you mean the evolution of one species from another or to another? Yes, we have that in action actually in the Galapagos.
Could you give me one instance?
Yes, we have an example from a group of birds called Darwin's finches.
You take a look at the difference between the finches on the islands that all started out. I mean, that's very, very observable.
But that's not Darwinian evolution. There's been no change of kinds. Much of the finches become.
Oh, I don't remember ever seeing or hearing Darwin ever saying change from one kind to another.
Well, and you notice what he's saying by kind now. He's
Genetically
looking at
new
like
and
fish,
anatomically new,
amphibians, mammals.
recognizably different species.
So there's still finches?
Right.
Okay,
He's
what he's
expecting a
done-
bird to change into a dog or something.
Yeah.
What he's done earlier on is he's turned around and he's established that people believe in evolution. Okay. Then he's moved on to ask his silly fucking question with the kinds thing, and he phrased the question assertively by stating that he wants evidence, observable evidence, which is the scientific method, of Darwinian evolution, which is a change of kind. So now he's defined what he considers Darwinian evolution to be. And if you notice now, he's using the term Darwinian evolution in line with that definition without spelling it out to people. So he's asking now for Darwinian evolution without doing that little bit on the end where he turns around and says a change of kinds. So it's a very clever, subtle tactic that he's doing, but he is actually leading. He's leading the audience along. He's established what he means by Darwinian evolution, and that it's scientific. And now all you'll hear him talk about is Darwinian evolution, but he will now no longer define it because he'll just get owned.
Right. Okay, let me continue playing on this thing here. It just
They're still finches, yeah.
There's no change of kind.
Little birds that he had observed.
What did they become?
Their beak shapes.
They're still birds.
Yes.
3 finches that turn
Well, they're still birds, Darf!
different types of birds.
They're still finches.
Well, for example, Darwin and his study on evolution of the birds on the island that he went on to there.
Their beaks changed?
Their beaks.
They're still birds. There's no change of kind.
Well, they're still birdies! Oh, you expect them to turn into dragons and unicorns and... I don't know.
Evolution on the beak.
So that's called adaptation. It's not Darwinian evolution. There's no change of kinds. There's no different animal involved. No one's something that shows.
All right, hold on a second.
Darwin's
I think there was
belief in the change of kind.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! Like I hate it when creationists bring up this. Oh, that's adaptation, but it's not evolution. What the fuck do you think the engine of evolution is? How do you think a cat and a dog get different without adapting? Explain to me how you can gain an immunity to something without adapting.
Yeah, exactly. changes come little pieces at a time, not big chunks all at once. This is the big problem with a lot of Christians and creationists like this. They think it's like it changes magically overnight, just like boom, you're one animal, the next day you're a new animal. No, it doesn't happen that way. New adaptations create a new animal over time. Let's say the animal has short legs and needs to get up in each the top of the leaves of the tree. It starts straining its neck. Over time, it teaches its younger kids to start straining their necks. And then whatever is advantageous for that next generation is going to be carried on. Anything that isn't, like if let's say the next has a litter of some with long necks and some with short necks, the ones, if they can't reach the top of the trees to eat, the ones with short necks are going to die off, and then the longer necks stay, and they continue on further on. It's a mutation, but it takes time. It's not all at one time. That's where they think it's all at one time. It doesn't happen that way.
They think it's Pokemon evolution.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I showed my dog a moonstone. Asshole wouldn't evolve. He's still a golden retriever. Like,
yeah, what you should have done, what you should do is you should like wave stripy sticks over him, and he'll give birth to like yeah, they will give birth to stripy pups if you use stripy sticks.
Right,
It's
that's
in the
biblically
Bible.
approved. That's right.
Biblically approved, yeah.
Biblically approved.
Someone had gave me sent me a message to. Yeah. Biblically proved by God. Oh. Right. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna continue playing this here.
Is scientific. Darwin spoke of a change of kind. Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution with this change of kind?
Kind.
Of course, he's changed the whole word game on this thing, so it's something else completely.
I'm gonna have to think about that one a little longer.
You give me anything that I can see, observe, and test, which is a scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds.
Test and observe.
Okay. That.
I would say
I cannot, I think. It's a hard question, actually. Mitochondrial DNA. So,
fossil records.
You guys want to pause it?
DNA.
Paul's face palming himself so hard, I think he's gonna knock himself off his chair.
Really?
Obviously, he's not showing all those people who turn around and say, well, there's the fossil evidence, there's taxonomy, there's retroviral DNA that is present in every single species alive on the planet.
There's also instances of observed speciation amongst bacteria, also observed speciation amongst mosquitoes in the London Underground during World War II. That's Culex pipiens evolving into Culex molestus. There's the apple maggot hawthorn fly, which is currently undergoing speciation. There are fruit flies on the island of Sao Tome. That is what Jerry Coyne does his research on. Never mind that all of these things, and this is just a cursory list. There are thousands of more, or maybe not thousands, but hundreds of more examples.
There's the geographical distribution of marsupials, and as well as
but there's still more
many other animals.
aren't they? I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. That's what he would say. He go, well, there's still more marsupials. They didn't change it to like a bicycle or something, did they?
Carry
I
on.
rode a marsupial the other day.
Yeah,
Couldn't move as fast as my
marsupial
10
soup
feet.
the other day? Was it delicious? Did you have it with peas and carrots? Jade, you were going to say something?
No. Well, I was just going to say, so if all marsupials are one kind, I suppose all monotremes are one kind too.
Yeah, kangaroos and platypi are obviously exactly the same thing.
Yes, obviously.
And echidnas.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the echidna and the platypus look so much alike, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen how fast a echidna can jump?
I like to see how
just-
fast someone can stand up and flatten Ray Comfort.
Like, I don't want to, like, I'm not a violent person, but, like, this is, like, taking years off my life, and I just want to, like, I just want to strangle Ray Comfort and be like, why? And he'll be like, what? What? Why are you making this shit so that I can get angry about it?
Exactly. I'm not a usually violent person either, but you know what? He turns me to. I want to just reach out and strangle him.
I worked this out, and I will come back. I keep saying I will come back to this once we get to the end of the film. But carry.
Okay.
How far
Okay.
are we?
All right, here we go.
Or Darwinian evolution.
Let me think about that for a sec.
Observable evidence, something where we don't have to exercise faith. Something that can be observed, like the scientific process, observable.
That's a good question. That one I'm not quite sure.
You can't think of any observable evidence for evolution?
No.
How do you know it's true?
I'm not sure.
So Darwinian evolution is not observable, it's not scientific.
I guess so.
Okay.
And I'll also have a big shake as well with that. Fucking hell.
It's not observable, therefore you can't.
Oh dear me! Did they finally?
Again, he wants to see a Model T car. He wants to see a Model T turn into a Mustang right before your eyes.
Are these the students that were outside, wandering around outside the university during class?
Yeah, these are
Hall of Science. He's standing in front of Hall of Science. He made sure he got a shot that says Hall of Science in the background and make it look like, see, these are people are going to this school and look how smart they are.
So it's unscientific. You can't prove it.
It's scientific, actually. You could prove it. It could be proven. Just
do it for me.
That's hard. I don't. It's just that's just too broad of a.
It's unobservable. That's why you need millions of years.
Yes, exactly.
You're trusting the biology majors and the biology professors know what they're talking about, and they can't even give me evidence of a change of kinds.
Well, then there isn't one. If they don't give it, then I wouldn't say there was.
I just go on what I've seen and what I've learned from class.
So you believe?
Yeah.
You know what that's called?
What?
Blind faith.
Blind faith.
Faith is the great cop-out, the great excuse to evade the need to think and evaluate.
Thing is intelligently designed?
No, I don't believe that things are intelligently designed.
Okay, you seem like an intelligent person, so I'm going to ask you something. I'd like you to make me a rose, okay?
Oh, here we go.
I don't have the capabilities to do that.
Hang on. No, it's not intelligently designed, so you should be able to whip me up a rose real quick. You believe it?
Wait a minute. It's not intelligent design, so you should be able to do it. Now, he's basically calling this woman stupid? I don't know. He's like, yikes. If it's not intelligent designed, but so can you do it?
Ray Comfort is intelligently designed with his ass where his head should be.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. That he is asking Ugly Betty that question, isn't he? The girl that looks like Ugly Betty.
It's just hard to listen to because he's just like it's. You know, for him, here's my opinion of it, and this is why it's bothering me, is because like I know, like I go to I'm proud that my school, there was a study by Liberty University, which is where Jerry Falwell, the university he founded, that said that my school was the most atheistic and sinning in the country, which is, to me, terrific. I am so damn proud, and I honor that tradition. But I've met Christians, and I was in a fraternity that had a religious bend to it, even though we were all secular. Like, I know very intelligent religious people, and I can't think of anything that is worse for religion than what he is doing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like I said, I've worked it out. I've worked out exactly what he's doing. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it becomes apparent at the end.
I don't want to ruin it to you, but God did it at the end. Oh wait, no, that's the butler. Never mind.
Colonel Mustard with
Colonel
the
Mustard in the back room with the lead pipe, or was that with the dildo? I forget which. Anyway,
I will say that it does get entertaining in a little while's time. So,
right.
so
Oh, yeah, it does.
keep with it. Keep with it.
All right, here we go.
Definitely not.
In order for me to know what to make, I have to know what a rose is.
Well, it's got a seed, so you've got to start with nothing, and you've got to create a seed from nothing.
Okay, first off, she was right. You have to know what you're gonna make. Most people don't just sit down and unless you're gonna just grab a bunch of shit and just start hammering it together. But you got to know what the end product is of what you're going to make. It's going to look like, or what you want it to look like. But then he goes, oh well, then you got to start with nothing and make a seed. Well, we don't have the technology to do that. We could detect like particles coming out of nowhere and go back into nowhere. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're
Guys?
right. You're
Okay.
right.
Yeah, because we've observed particles just coming out and popping in and out of existence, and we have no idea how they do it. I mean, not yet. Maybe
Well, it's kind of like that
alternate dimension. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like that famous Sagan quote: "To make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe."
Right. Exactly.
It's a completely nonsensical statement when viewed in context.
Yes.
Which is what Sagan was trying to say, because he's a smart guy. Comfort, on the other hand, I think Comfort is very intelligent at what he's doing. I just think that he just looks
He's
like
a good
an
scam
ass.
artist. I'll give him this. He's a good scam artist. I mean, if he weren't such a slime bucket, he could actually be somewhat I don't know, useful as a doorstop maybe. I don't know.
No.
Can't make something from nothing. It's just basic, science.
A rose from nothing?
A rose.
Just like, I can't, honestly.
Why not?
Me, I have no supernatural abilities.
All the geniuses.
I'm Genie. King. I can pop shit out of existence.
I just. Do you have magical powers?
There it is. Come on, really? They think that it's like.
Don't have millions, billions of years.
That would be physically impossible. I mean, I would have to. That's not possible. So how could you say everything's not intelligently designed? Where does that leave you on the scale of intelligence? If you say everything's not intelligently designed and you can't even make a road, that's not possible.
Sorry, it's switching to the next
How
file.
could you say everything's not intelligently designed? Where does that leave you on the scale of intelligence? If you say everything's not intelligently designed and you can't even
You're
make
gonna hear a little repeat there.
Why
Sorry.
do you think there's no one teaching intelligent design at UCLA?
Because they're not allowed to.
We can teach anything we want.
There's a reason intelligent design isn't taught in our learning institutions.
Stop!
According to...
Okay, I was just gonna stop that myself there.
Because
That's why. Yeah.
Yes, it is bullshit.
You can continue.
Let's not even forget the fact of it's called separation of church and state. First it was just we got to teach religion in school. No, it's church and state. So they just use let's use intelligent design. We'll rename our bullshit to something else, and then we'll have a new thing called a new name for religion.
Well, like the thing is let's take UCLA is kind of a murky thing because it's a state school, but let's take something completely objective. I went to a private school. I still go there. I'm a graduate student now, and they have complete choice over what they teach me. There is no state influence at all. Guess what I took? It's funny. I remember taking a class called evolution. I don't remember there being a class offered called intelligent design. And there is nothing stopping them from doing that. There is no legal reason. What is it, the elitist New England, attitude towards education? Or is it the fact that what they're talking about is not going to get research funding? It doesn't have any merit in the scientific community, and it's just a waste of everyone's tuition.
Oh, yeah.
The only jobs that you can get with a class in intelligent design usually involve a mop and a bucket. That's why there's no classes on intelligent design, because it's
those
useless.
people can flip burgers too. Don't be insensitive.
No, I don't know if I want to. Some of them I don't know if I want to let them that close to the stove, because they might burn themselves.
Well, it's interesting to me because you look at someone like Michael Behe. I'm sure we're all familiar with who Michael Behe is.
Oh, Michael Behe.
Right, yes.
He knows. He's a guy that you could basically just look at what he says, and you're like, dude, it's not like Comfort, where Comfort seems so dense. With Behe, you can tell that he knows that he's talking bullshit, but he's religious. Like, you read his writings, and you're like if you read his writings called The Edge of Evolution, like his book called The Edge of Evolution, where if you fact check it, it's complete and utter bullshit. Some of the claims that he makes, not all of them. But you just look at it, and you're just like, this guy knows that he's lying. But he's incredibly religious.
Let's be honest, would anybody know Michael Behe's name if it wasn't for him being a creationist? It'd just be some mundane college professor.
Right.
Well, I was just thinking about this.
If it wasn't for the song I have.
I mean, I was thinking, I was thinking about this today. I run a lot, and I had a very long run today, and I was thinking about this, and I said, well, what's the casualty if we don't teach if we teach people that intelligent design is viable? And I was just thinking, Michael Behe is the casualty, because you look at this guy, and you know what? Was he going to burn down the house and become a Nobel Prize candidate? No. Let's be honest. This guy was a good researcher, not exceptional. If you look at his record before the intelligent design bullshit, he's a good researcher. Like, if you get a full tenured professorship at Lehigh, that's a pretty good school with a pretty good footprint. He's a good researcher. But he's the casualty because we haven't had anything sensible from him in pretty much 2 decades, ever since the intelligent design movement became comparable. And I think that's an absolute tragedy, because we're losing a guy who's who ostensibly is a good researcher.
Right. And one of the funny things about Behe, well, first of all of the creationist intelligent design folks are trying to say that if you believe in creationism or intelligent design, you lose your job, and they'll list all these people that have lost their jobs. Mind you, they don't tell you the entire circumstances of why they've lost their jobs. But here's Behe. He's at Lehigh. His job's not in trouble.
Right.
And the other thing is, Michael Behe is a Catholic, but his opinions on evolution do not jibe with the Catholic Church for the most part. But Ken Miller, who opposed him in the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial, was also a Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just kind of amusing, goes to show you. And as far as the education goes, a while back, a religious high school here in California took the university system to court because the California State University and State College system refused to accept certain of their courses as transfer material to the state university system. And amongst them, there were 3 things. One was a history text by Liberty University. One was an English course that had them only reading excerpts, not actual books. And the third was the biology course that did not teach evolution, right? So they took the university to court.
What did they teach in the biology course? I wonder what did they teach in that biology course?
I have the book.
B equals Z.
I have the book they taught from, and it's utter nonsense.
Is it a pamphlet?
No, it's an actual book, but it's ridiculous. And I mean, I could spend some time going through it and telling you exactly what's in it. But basically, it's intelligent design. All the great scientists were religious, and the Middle Ages was a really horrible time because of the Catholic Church. And then we had the wonderful Reformation. Mind you, they skipped the Renaissance in between. It's a very strange book, but this is their biology book. Mostly, it's criticizing evolution. And also misquoting other books, because I actually went through this book, managed to get a hold of the books they quote from, and discovered, of course, that they're misquoting them all. But so they took the state university system to court. They had a whole bunch of backers, as you can imagine, a whole bunch of religious different groups and institutions backing them up, and they lost.
Of course.
They lost on the grounds that they weren't teaching science.
This book doesn't happen to have a panda on the front, does it?
No, it's not that one. It's an A. Becca book. Have you heard of the A. Becca books?
Oh, God, them.
Yes. A. Becca. Yeah, it's an A. Becca book.
Becca.
Right.
Why didn't they just slap across
they lost
and call it the science of their the Bible science? You know, that's what they should have called it instead of a biology book. They should call it science or religious science or whatever. I don't know.
Well, the funniest thing is it's just not in their best interest to do this kinds of thing, because it's not in their best interest, because you're creating people who just can't enter a certain walk of life. That's the issue for them. Like
this is why the rest of the world around us is actually moving ahead, because they're actually teaching science.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I fear for it, because if you look at our research output, it's very good, but people are starting to catch up. And right now we're in the middle of an explosion in terms of genomic technology, and the worst thing is that if the U.S., God forbid, the U.S. doesn't keep developing as fast as it has been, and
we're gonna be left behind. We'll be a third world country. That's what I think. That's what they're. You know what they're gonna happen, because we won't advance because of their religious beliefs. Okay. And then they're going to turn around and say, "See, because we were doing all this technology stuff to begin with, God took His hand off of us, and we weren't being prosperous anymore. So therefore, God's in control, and He's like saying, "Oh, you guys are going to be third world country now because you just weren't because you were playing around with the technology, while the other countries are being set ahead." Because they're Satan or something. So that they're all the religious shit. It's just gonna turn around, and they're just gonna use that as another excuse to throw us deeper back into the Dark Ages.
Yeah, guys, I don't have a problem with you guys having all these religious whack jobs. Notice my British accent. I live in Europe, and we're overtaking you.
Hey, we have a problem with.
I visited. When I lived in England for 3 months, and I visited and interviewed at like the Sanger Institute and the Laboratory of Molecular Biology. They're not that far behind us. It's
some places
they're
we're ahead.
There. Yeah, I mean, we've got MIT and Stanford. That's really all we've got compared to some of the we just have bigger volume. We don't have but. Comes to biological stuff, we just have more schools. We don't necessarily have better schools anymore.
I live in Manchester, and it's one of the centers of excellence for cancer research. We've got things like the Christie and all these other institutes that are actually in Manchester, around Manchester University. It's a world leader in cancer research. Now, where are you, America? We don't have the same kind of problems that you do with stem cell research and all that kind of stuff, and religious whack jobs turn around and say, we shouldn't be tampering with that kind of stuff. Read the good book. It's like, oh, fuck.
That's even scarier than just genomic technology. That's easily the scary one, is that because they think, I know this is a tangent, but because they are the religious right is so idiotic that they think that a fetus has the rights of a human being, but forget that a woman could actually work for a living.
Yeah, they put more. The thing is, not to get too far off the subject here, but they want to regulate vaginas and your sex, and the kind of sex you have, but they don't want to regulate guns. Hey, that's impersonating, or that's pushing their in their civil liberties, or whatever.
priorities
Anyway,
are
we
totally
should get back. We're getting kind of off topic here. Let's get back to the video.
Let's get back to the nonsense.
The legal staff of Freedom from Religion Foundation, a church-state watchdog group, has had remarkable success in convincing many institutions, such as school boards and town councils, that they are breaking constitutional law when they sponsor sectarian activities. That includes intelligent design. When the authorities can't be convinced, Freedom from Religion Foundation sues, and it wins more often than not.
Gee, I wonder why. That's
I
a head
don't know.
scratcher. Maybe because they have law on their side?
There was nothing in the beginning. Big explosion of nothing. It became something, and then it came into a rose, and giraffes and horses and cows.
I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying I don't know what happened. And that's what scientists have theorized has happened, and
you believe them
to a point.
So you've got faith.
That is true, yeah.
Could you? Vestigials? How's that? Back up evolution.
Vestigial is like, I'm not a biologist, so I'm kind of fuzzy here, but it's like a remaining organ that is not used. Like, for instance, our appendix. Rabbits have huge appendix for digestion of grass. We still have a vestigial appendix.
The appendix has no.
We can think of that now.
Okay, he's going to start asking people who don't have a degree in biology or medicine to, what do you think of the appendix? I think I'm going to shove it up your ass.
It's already there. Ha ha!
Many people regard that as the tail of the humans.
True.
That is, it's an evolutionary leftover proving that we're related to primates. However, it's not a tailbone, it's the coccyx vertebrae.
That's the stupidest fucking thing. He says, well, I'm going to ask everybody about the appendix. But instead of, talking about the appendix, I'm going to start talking about the tailbone.
Well, and this is a big straw man because he's misstating what a vestigial organ is.
Right.
And this is common with creationists. They say a vestigial organ is useless. That's what it is. It's something that's useless. No, that's not what a vestigial organ is. A vestigial organ is an organ that no longer serves its original function. In many cases, evolution being parsimonious, almost couldn't say that, reuses things. So yes, certain leftover, like in whales, leftover bones for the feet or something, are used to anchor muscles.
I've seen the X-ray. They have hip bones and they have legs that are tucked in underneath all that blubber.
Right, but those are used to anchor muscles. But they're still vestigial because they're not used for their original purpose. But the creationists try to, again, it's a straw man. They misdefine what a vestigial organ is and then go on to criticize evolution on the grounds that vestigial organs aren't what they misidentified them as.
Yeah, someone here in the chat room says, phony beetle maniacs says, can I just say, I think Ray Comfort is full of shit and I am a Christian. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Thumbs up.
The fact that we can hear this show tonight is thanks to the bones in the inner ear, and those are actual vestigial jaw bones.
Well, it's amazing when you look at something as beautiful as like the reptile to mammal transition. And I know reptile is not the right word, but stick with me. You can see that bone in the jaw and in the ear migrate and become. You can literally, you have a linear series of fossils that does this. Like it's probably, I think it's the coolest transition out there. Of course, Tiktaalik being, I think that's kind of the coolest one, obviously. But it's amazing, like we have all of these ideas and all of this, and we can actually measure why certain things are faulty due to, we know why back pain is due to the fact that our spine is shaped incorrectly because of the fact that we were never, weren't bipedal for, until a couple million years ago,
Right.
we can look at all of these things. We can make predictions, and we can correct and do stuff with ergonomic chairs and make people's lives measurably better, and with medicine and things like this. But yet, these people are choosing to just misconstrue all of this stuff because baby Jesus told them to.
Okay, here we're going to get going here.
The tailbone derived its name because some people believe it's a leftover part from human evolution, though the notion that the tailbone serves no purpose is wrong. The coccyx is an extremely important source of attachment for tendons, ligaments, and muscles.
Yeah, because there may have been a tail there, and then, you know, that tail may have had to use all those extra muscles, but now we just don't have it anymore.
Evolutionists also claim that the appendix is vestigial.
Now he goes back to the appendix.
The appendix is actually part of the human immune system. According to Scientific American, for years the appendix was credited with very little physiological function. We now know, however, that the appendix serves an important role in the fetus and in young adults.
Stop.
I already did. Way ahead of you.
And anyone who has taken an immunology course already knows that, of course, there's a lot of immune function that goes into the appendix. That's not what people are arguing. The primary function that it used to have was digesting grass, digesting cellulose with host bacteria in it. Everyone knows this, except for Ray Comfort. You know, it's a mostly useless tissue that houses some immune function. But the evidence that you can live completely without it, pretty much, you know, scot-free. You know, there's been some evidence to suggest that you can have some stomach disturbance later in life. But overall, it's not any different. Like, my mom doesn't have an appendix, and, you know, she's lactose intolerant. That's the only digestive thing I could say about her.
Right.
You know, which is completely unrelated.
Yeah, we do. There's a lot of people out there today living without their appendix. You know, it's not like it has to be. You have to keep it, otherwise you're going to die. It's not. He's making it sound like if you remove your appendix, or if people take their appendix out, or they're born without an appendix, it's like being born without a heart, or a brain, or a lung, or a leg, or I don't know, legs.
Well, even to play devil's advocate, when you remove the appendix, you really don't impinge. You're not inhibiting any normal function. You can live as a normal person. It's different when you remove a kidney. You have to watch your diet. You have to make sure that, like, you don't have too high of blood pressure, or else you will lose your other kidney. If you lose your spleen, there are some health effects. If you lose your gallbladder, these are other organs that can be removed. There are consequences.
Oh yeah, of course there's consequences.
Appendicitis? Not really.
You can't live without them, though. You can live without them.
Yeah, but it's different with an appendix because you can live an ostensibly normal life.
Right.
I mean, it's
no more greaseball burgers. That's all.
It doesn't even make that difference, though. It's a very.
I'm just teasing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's very interesting. It's pretty much as far as you can tell. I mean, it's as close to a useless organ as we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been without my tonsils and adenoids since I was 4.
Yeah, same here.
Well,
I've been out without mine since I was 7 years old. So,
right.
hey.
Yeah, we're still
I don't
alive.
need my tonsil.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. Yeah, I just checked. Yeah, I'm still breathing too.
Among adult humans, the appendix is now thought to be involved primarily in the immune functions.
I would consider myself an atheist.
Can you think of any famous atheists?
I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Anyone else?
Off the top of my head now.
Can you think of any famous atheists?
This is an argument from authority, basically. He's trying to put.
But it's even worse than that, because who cares? What on earth does naming a famous atheist have anything to do with evolution or God? Or,
exactly.
You know, it's just ridiculous.
Exactly. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
This is
as far as I'm concerned.
Strangely enough,
it's filler. It's filler for him.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, right? Remember, this is a Ray Comfort movie, so it's always self-refuting. It's always all Ray Comfort arguments are self-refuting. Do you know what? The Can you name any famous atheists, as in, what is it? I don't know, hierarchy within the Church of Atheism? Would only apply if atheism was actually a faith.
That's true.
Wait, so I'm not an Arch Grand Deacon? God damn it.
I'm sorry. No.
Then why did I buy that shirt?
Catholics can name the Pope, right? But the very fact that there are no atheist leaders as such. There are names that are well known, but because there is no head of atheism, even though Richard Dawkins usually gets trotted out for that one, there is no head of atheism. So therefore, nobody's going to be able to name one. But that's a moot point. Carry on.
Yeah.
Right.
Hang on.
He's trying to appeal to. He's just trying to show atheists are appealing to authority, and that's not the case here.
No, but it's really a big, fat, stinking red herring.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And another point, right? At least one of the four famous atheist professors that he interviews, he's a member of staff at the university that these people attend.
No.
They can't even name their own head of a faculty? Seriously?
No. Either that, or maybe he cut that part of it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he picked people who didn't know.
Oh, yeah, of course. Cherry picking.
I mean, just out of curiosity, right? Everybody name 5 right now. Everybody name 5.
Well, there's George Clooney. There's Richard Dawkins. There's P.C. Myers.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Angelina Jolie.
Jolie. We just did this one. Gene Wilder. Alan Alda.
Billy Joel.
Mount Darlin. Bill Gates. Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, yes.
Aaron Rand. George Orwell. Right, okay, we've named them. We're a bit brighter than those fuckers are.
We took the 5 and we went beyond that. So
yeah. But people don't necessarily go around wearing an atheist badge. I mean, they'll say, if George Clooney has admitted, yeah, I'm an atheist, but it's not like you don't think of him as George Clooney, atheist.
Yeah.
Right.
Harry Potter. What is it? Harry Potter is.
Yeah, the guy who plays Harry Potter. He's an atheist too. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is I don't give a fuck what those people have to say about what they care about religion.
It means absolutely fucking nothing. Because
it has absolutely nothing to do with it.
You know what? Half of those that you've got named are pop stars, film stars, people that work in technology and business and politics.
So in the chat room here, Jordy Weege made a great point. It says, it depends on how you define famous. You could call TJ a famous atheist.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody said Thunderbolt.
I'm not super famous like TJ is, but I'm getting there, and I'm an atheist. Hey, I'm working at it. I could be.
It's one of those things. It's like when they had the whole thing about what Justin Bieber thinks about abortion. I don't give a fuck what Justin Bieber thinks about abortion.
Right.
Like what? Yeah. Like I could think of I tried to think of 4 things I care less about, and I couldn't. I got the other one is like what Justin Bieber thinks about whether God exists. That's really the only one.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about what. He's just a little dude who got kicked in the nuts as a child, obviously, and can sing really well. It has nothing to do.
The day that
exactly.
All right. The day Justin Bieber gets pregnant, then I'll listen to.
Oh yeah, if Justin Bieber got pregnant, then then all bets are off.
Isaac Newton said, "The most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being."
Can you think of any?
So what?
He also said you could turn lead into gold, and look what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, I did read that if you had the temperature of 1,000 suns, you might be able to do it, maybe, but I don't know. I don't have 1,000 suns oven in my house, so I can't try it.
No.
A famous atheist.
Yeah, a famous atheist.
Yeah, my dad.
He's not famous. Skeptics often include examples of famous atheists in an attempt to win converts. But more often than not, the famous personalities cited are not actually atheists. This is a popular atheist poster on which are Ernest Hemingway, Abraham Lincoln, Carl Sagan, Mark Twain, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Albert Einstein, and Charles Darwin, along with the words, "Atheism, good enough for these idiots." Clearly, atheism is for intellectuals. But Abraham Lincoln wasn't an atheist. He said, "I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it's my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation should be on the Lord's side."
He's also said that my religion is nature or natural stuff. I don't remember.
No.
You don't hear him ever quoting.
I don't remember the exact quote, unfortunately.
Guys, let him have this one, right? Because the only thing that he manages to actually conclusively prove and provide actual evidence for in his evolution versus God, the only thing he disproves in the entire fucking video is an internet meme from 4chan. And you know, guess what, right? Do you know who came up with the word meme?
Richard Dawkins.
Do you think the bit beforehand? I am sure that this is a jab at Dawkins. Do you know any famous atheists? Not one of them can mention Dawkins. And then he goes and has a stab at an internet meme. The term coined by Dawkins in his book.
Well, I like how he'll be like, "Oh, Lincoln said this," but he never quotes what Hitler said about like how we were all, the gifts of the creator. I forget what the exact verbiage is in Mein Kampf, but he basically says we're all, results of the creator.
Yeah.
And that all races were created separately. He never seems to mention that when,
No, yeah, of course. No, and he always. There's a lot. I hear this from a lot of religious people. They'll claim that Hitler was an atheist, and it's like, no, that's not it. He was, and he's quoted all over the place saying about how God is with him and everything. So, and even it says God is with us on their belt buckles. It's like, really?
Yeah, good old Ray went and forgot to, misquoted that in 180.
Yeah. All right, here there's a part here that he's gonna hit on that Ray just obviously does not get.
Neither was Carl Sagan. He clearly stated, "I am an agnostic."
You can be an agnostic atheist. What does the fuck difference does that make? Really?
Mark Twain hated religion, but he certainly wasn't an atheist, saying, "None of us can be as great as God, but any of us can be as good." Benjamin Franklin said, "God governs in the affairs of men." You'll find Thomas Edison listed on Celebrity Atheists, on Positive Atheism, and other atheist websites. But he wasn't an atheist. He said, "There is a great directing head of people and things, a supreme being who looks after the destinies of the world." Thomas Jefferson said, "Say nothing of my religion. It is known to myself and my God alone." Albert Einstein rejected the Bible as the Word of God and said that the Creator was unknowable and that God, being personal, was childlike. He lamented, "In view of such harmony in the cosmos, which I, with my limited human understanding, am able to recognize, there are yet people who say there is no God. Well, what really makes me angry is that they quote me to support such views." He categorically said, "I am not an atheist." And when referring to those who deny the Creator, he used the term fanatical atheists. Charles Darwin.
What the fuck is a fanatical atheist?
Who?
That's what I'd like to know. What the fuck is a fanatical atheist? Do we? Is that an atheist with bombs on his chest? Goes into a church and blows up books? I don't know. What the fuck? I'm gonna read these books to you. I'm being fanatical.
I mean, there are some like anti-theists who are a little bit ridiculous and say dumb things, but the furthest I've seen, that's the thing, is the furthest I've seen these people do is say ridiculously stupid shit. Like they'll say something like, religion is the root of all evil. Like I've seen people who say that, and they're idiots, obviously. Yeah. But that's the extent of it, is people who say things, not people who blow up buildings or people who try to who picket abortion clinics so that, women can't actually have good reproductive rights. Never forgetting that.
Can't have that.
many more things than just abortion.
Right.
And said, I have never been an atheist. So out of the 8 famous men on the poster, there was only one who was an atheist, Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, here it comes.
According to his biographer, back in 1961, Hemingway, quote, pushed 2 shells into the 12-gauge Boss shotgun, put the end of the barrel into his mouth, pulled the trigger, and blew out his brains.
So automatically, if you become an atheist, you're going to blow your brains out. What the fuck is that? Everybody has different deals with depression. Atheists go through depression. There's a lot of Christians out there who are believing God, and they put a shotgun in their mouths and they blow their brains out too.
At least you have brains to blow out.
I would just like to point out that Ray, that you know, I'm running out of toilet paper in probably a couple weeks. I'll buy Ray Comfort's book. But I'm sure that Comfort was not as good of a writer as Hemingway, so he could go fuck himself. That's
exactly. Thank you.
Maybe that's a controversial way of viewing it, but
yeah, no, it's just that he's trying to. I think his point here he's trying to make is that, you know, if you put a gun, if you're an atheist, you're going to do something harmful to yourself because you don't believe in God. You know, that I think that's what he's trying to, you know, subtly push into it.
There's your poster boy when it comes to atheism.
See?
Keep in
Right
mind
there.
that even though some of these men claim to believe in God, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're believers in the one true creator revealed in the scriptures, or that they're genuine Christians. However, when atheists use theists or agnostics to promote their godless agenda, they're being dishonest. Then again, coming from those...
Oh, he's talking about being dishonest. Oh, there's the pot calling
what
the
about
kettle
Newton
black.
rejected the Trinity? Einstein was not, you know, Einstein was a pantheist, and yet in his debate against the Rational Response Squad, he referenced Einstein as a believer.
And let's not even discuss the let's even not even mention the fact that all these people lived at a different time era where, you know, if you came out and said you were an atheist or something like that, there was a considerable backlash. It's not like they could get today. More people are allowed. They can come out. I mean, it's still difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's still difficult to come out as an atheist. But now, it's a little easier. If these people had come out 20, 40 years ago, if they'd come out saying that they were an atheist, you know what kind of repercussions they would have had to face. They could lose their jobs, in some cases their life.
Well, like, I mean, a lot of people just don't even, like, for instance, if I was to state, you know, a great atheist thinker of the past, I'd say, you know, David Hume, you know, probably one of the greatest philosophers in the history of English philosophers, if not the greatest. But most people don't know who that is. But, you know, you don't see Comfort actually attacking people who are intelligent atheists. He's just, you know, it's like when you go to the zoo and you see a monkey masturbating in public. Like, that's really the best analogy that I can compare it to. And you can correct me if I'm being crude or crass, but that's really the only thing that I'm getting from this in terms of a mental image.
Right.
A wanker going about his business.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's continue with the...
Right, yeah, let's continue on here.
That morality, relative to each person, convenient dishonesty should not be a surprise.
Oh, here we go. Here it comes.
Stop. Okay. Not every atheist believes the same thing about morality. In fact, not every Christian believes the same thing about morality. Like,
right.
But atheists have a hugely diverse difference. Like, what is that a bottle of, Paul? Is that to help you with your head pain right now?
Oh, I have a few bottles of that myself.
Iron brew made from Scotland from Gurdas.
Is that a big bottle of booze? You better start passing.
No. Iron brew.
Iron brew, yeah.
Okay, well,
It does, however, go very, very well with Irish whiskey. I can tell you from experience.
It does indeed.
Okay. Well, if you got any, just pass it over here because I think we're going to need it to get through this video here.
Yeah, I haven't. I really need to go. I should have gone to the liquor store yesterday. I need a beer so badly right now. It's just no, because I mean, like, there's so much debate in terms of where morality actually stands, especially among atheists, because there are some people who believe in, like, just purely subjective morality. There's some people who believe in moral emotivism. There are people that believe in objective morality. It's not a settled question.
Right. I see it like this, and I heard the way I heard it was explained. Let's say you live on an island, and it's illegal to sell anything to own anything purple, and you can't feed anybody chocolate, because if you do, you go to jail. You can't feed anybody chocolate, for example. Chocolate here, everybody can most people can digest chocolate, no problem. But you go there, and you can't. If you give somebody chocolate there, they cause them to become deathly ill or sick or die. And you can't eat anything purple, or you can't make anything with purple, because purple makes medicine that's only available on their shores. So if you just that's another form of the morality. It's based on the geolocation in that instance.
Wrong?
Rape is wrong in our culture, yes. And it is
Rape always wrong.
More word games.
On your beginnings, if you say that you have a respect for other human beings, then yes, rape is always wrong.
So there are moral absolutes. Is rape absolutely wrong?
In my opinion, it is.
Who makes the rules?
We do.
So if Hitler made the rules and he had the majority...
If Hitler made the rules, we would be living in a society that Hitler would consider moral, but which I would not consider moral.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. That's an excellent point. That it's a lot of it is the government is right now is pushing people in government. Like, for example, there's a Republican. He wants to make in Virginia, if he gets into office, he wants to make all oral sex, even between males who are married, completely illegal. That's his morality. That's his idea of morality. Let's just say he gets into
Virginia
office.
before you said that.
I'm glad
and now there is zero chance that.
Good. He's trying to get into office there, and if he gets in office and he pushes this thing somehow, I don't know, if let's just say for shits and giggles he gets in there and he gets this pushed through, even between married couples, oral sex would be illegal. I mean, no blowjobs, no cuddlings. I mean, first of all, I'd like to know how the fuck he's going to enforce that law.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to wait for to come by and say, is he going to want to install cameras in our bedrooms? Or
is that purely vaginal? Is that purely vaginal on there?
Or, yeah,
that's a mouth.
The vag cam,
Step away from the penis.
Well, all men have to wear detectors around their waist, and all women have to wear detectors around their waist. So if they detect eyeballs, you're going to jail.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing, though, is I can think, like, this is terrible to say, but I can think of an instance where, if there was a choice where, where it would actually be a moral dilemma, and this is where utilitarianism gets ugly, is let's say that you have to rape someone, or the entire human race is going to be extinguished.
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying I have a good answer to that, but that would be a defensive, but it is a defensible position when rape might be okay. Like, yeah, actually, I'm not saying that that's realistic at all, but I'm saying rape comforts an idiot.
The thing is, in the Bible, rape is actually partially condoned, because that's the only way you got ahead in the culture is if you raped somebody or raped a woman who was part of an affluent family. And then you paid your 50 shekels to that family, and you got into that family, and therefore the rape in that instance was somewhat socially acceptable. I mean, yes, you had to spend the rest of your life with that woman, and the woman was forced to marry the man, but God doesn't come out and say, hey, don't rape. It just says, well, you just got to pay 50 shekels to the father, but doesn't come out and say don't rape. So Ray's analogy is rape bad. He's obviously hasn't read his Bible, or he's totally ignoring it.
Well, I mean, you can think of any number of hypothetical scenarios where it becomes a dilemma in terms of what's right and what's wrong regarding anything that's horrific, because you can come up with any hypothetical. Whether it's realistic is irrelevant. I mean, what he's trying to do is just play word games.
Yeah.
Like what I said earlier, that doesn't mean that I advocate rape. I'm saying that that's a genuine moral dilemma, but I don't think that's a practical thing to think about, because I'm concerned more with what's practical, what will actually help society, and not playing these like word games like he likes to play. Like, oh, is it absolute? Like for instance, like lying. Is it lying absolutely wrong?
Oh,
like I think that's a useless discussion to have.
That's coming next. That's coming
Yeah.
next.
But
It's
I
a
think
rated
that
film.
Don't get too far ahead, otherwise we're gonna lose the
Okay.
whole. We're gonna lose the whole thing there. Don't go too far ahead. Let's continue on here.
Let's continue.
What was he doing then?
He was murdering people.
That's survival of the fittest.
No, it's not.
Survival of the fittest.
It's the lion eating the antelope.
No, there's much more to.
You might as well just say, "Oh, that's like man eating, killing cows." It's not the same fucking thing, you dickhead.
Hey, wait, out of curiosity, how far along are we?
We are at 1 hour 39 minutes. Oh,
No, I meant how far are we into the video.
We're halfway through the second half. We're halfway through the second half there, Strife.
Okay, you can go until 9:30 if that's okay. You could.
That's fine. I got time.
Okay, see ya.
Your head.
I have seen a quote from Richard Dawkins saying, "Evolution in its rawest is incredibly cruel."
It is. Yes.
That was Hitler putting evolution into practice.
That does not mean it was moral. Nobody
was immoral.
Nobody's claiming that evolution is a moral process. Evolution is a very harsh and cruel process.
Do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
You have a dog?
Yes.
Love your dog?
I do love my dog.
Yes, I do. I love animals.
Okay. Well, your pet dog and your rotten neighbor are drowning. You'd only save one of them. Who would you save?
I wonder how many people actually gave an alternate answer and he didn't put them on. You know, it's just make me scratch my head. Just wondering.
That is a tough one.
You only save one?
Why are you hesitating?
Oh, I think I would save my dog.
This is another completely pointless
It's
answer.
so
You know,
stupid because
it is.
What if your neighbor's a fucking dick? Like what?
What if he's a pedophile? I'm gonna I'm gonna save my dog, or I'm gonna save the pedophile. Who am I gonna save? Well, fuck the pedophile.
What if the reason your evil neighbor is drowning is because he's the cunt that threw your dog in? And you
didn't bother to ask him that question, no.
And you threw your neighbor in. You're not going to save him having thrown him in there for throwing your dog in. And not one single one of them turns around and says, well, I can only save one? Okay, I'll say to my neighbor, you save my dog and I'll save you. Okay? And not one of those fucking boneheads turned around and said, I'd go for help.
Or even ask, can I get some help? Can I get some help?
Well, those people
I'd go get
cut
help.
out. Those answers he cut out of his movie, of course.
Oh yeah, probably.
But not only that, he has been caught before, where he asked one question to people, but then when he made the movie, he put in a different question.
Oh yeah, or put in a different. Oh yeah, he's put in a different. Give a different answer. He asked a certain question, then he's faked out the answer, so it fits a different question to something else they didn't even ask.
Right, and he asked people about would they kill someone for money. But
I
what
remember
he did
that
was
one.
when he first asked it, the original, and he got caught because the video is out there. I forget, but he asked somebody. He said basically, this is an evil person. Would you go ahead and kill them, even if you're going to pay? People said yes. But then when he actually made the movie, he left out the evil person part, so it makes it look like these people were just going to kill people.
Right.
So I don't trust anything he does.
You know, I wouldn't trust him. If I asked him the time of day, I'd go and ask 5 other people to make sure that what he said was actually correct. But I still wouldn't even trust it then.
I don't know. I feel like people would see me as a bad person.
This is why he puts the microphone in people's mouths. This is why he can ask any other question he wants into the video. He can edit the audio and then make it sound like they're answering a totally different question the way he wants it scripted. If he was any kind of honest, if he was doing anything honest, actually, he'd be there asking the question. So this way, if like you can see me and I'm talking, and if you put other words in my mouth, it's going to be completely out of sync.
Yes, you never see him ask the question with him and the person in the video at the same time.
Exactly.
Dog.
Very disingenuous, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he's not worth saving more than my dog is.
I'd go with the dog.
I mean, you would want to save the animals. So I would want to save my dog.
I just got to jump in here. Cluton7 in the chat room says, I think evolution is slowly getting things wrong. Lately, it's allowing survival of the thickest.
We're animals. I believe we're all equal. I don't think humans have like a higher like place.
So you think dogs are more valuable than human beings? Do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
So it's just a matter of survival of the fittest. Your neighbor's a primate, and you've got a canine, and you like the canine more than you like the primate. Would that be right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
what the fuck difference does it make which one you like more? It's not a.
It's not that easy of a question. Like it's not A or B. There's so many other variables. I will tell you what.
Missing the point. Neither of them are the fittest because neither of the fuckers can swim.
Right, but not only that, he's misstating survival of the fittest, which again is a favorite creationist tactic. They want to make it, whoever is the strongest, the most evil, who has the sharpest claws, the biggest teeth, completely ignoring the fact that we are a social species, and what is the most fit is what helps us, the species itself, advance.
Right, and that's evolution. And he doesn't seem to understand that, you know.
Survival of the fittest. I mean,
survival of the fittest?
Yeah, pretty much.
You said you believe in evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
He drowns, he drowns. Big deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is true.
Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
Any fetus is less human than an adult pig. Richard Dawkins.
So you don't think God exists?
More like I know.
Are you comfortable talking about spiritual things?
I don't know much about them because they're not really capable of knowledge.
I wonder what question they actually asked her in that one, and because he asked a question that gave an answer to a question that doesn't seem to be, an answer to. That's not an answer to that question. I wonder if they changed it. That's like you were just saying there, Jade. I wonder if they slipped in something else on that one. I want to see the original tape.
Also, his tone of voice was creepy as hell in that question.
Oh yeah, it is.
No wonder she's set a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I would too. Fuck, I'd be like, what the fuck are you gonna do, man? Wait for me. I hate to use this terminology, but you use the cross against the vampire. Ah!
It's when in the companion guide it says at the end that he sent her a fruit basket. I think the fruit basket had already been there.
He is a walking fruit basket. What are you saying?
You stopped breathing right now, you'd be considered dead.
Jacob, if you were a car and your motor got turned off, that'd be right. That's
okay, all right. Oh, fuck. Okay, he's comparing human beings to a fucking car. No. If you turn off a car, it doesn't. It's not alive. Okay, it's not alive. There's big difference there. You kill somebody, you can't just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna hit the restart button and you come back to life. It just doesn't work that way.
It does with Jesus.
Human being with the life of God in you.
We are a mechanical being because we have different parts that.
Is there no life in you?
Yes, there's life in me.
That's your soul.
No, it's not.
No, it's fucking cellular processes. You fucking cunt bag. Sorry,
God,
sorry.
Fucking...
I'm just getting too angry here.
I know. I was going to climb through the screen and I couldn't fit through it. I tried.
Okay, can you handle some questions? They're pretty pointed questions.
This is about as far as I got before I had to leave.
Make it to heaven?
I would like to think so.
Oh, Joe and Cena asked, what does drowning in a swimming pool have to do with evolution? We are naturally selected by our neighbors now?
Yeah. You're a good person, morally.
Yes, I am.
Do you think you're a good person? Yes.
I like to believe so, yeah.
How many lies have you told in your whole life?
Here we go. Here it comes.
Comfort Tourette's.
Quite a few.
Countless.
Uncountable.
What would you call me if I told lots of lies? Countless lies. You'd call me a liar, wouldn't you?
Comfort.
You'd call someone.
Okay, all right. All right. You know what? If everybody went around telling the truth every day, told exactly. You know, there's a movie out there. It's called what the hell is it?
The Invention of Lying.
Yes, that's the one. Look what a miserable society that was. Okay,
Yeah.
that's exactly. I think that's exactly what would be. And the thing is, if you're hiding somebody, let's. I hate to use this as an example, but I can't think of anything better off the top of my head. If you're hiding Jews in Nazi Germany and the SS comes out, do you have any Jews in your house? You say no. That's a lie, obviously, but it's a lie for a good reason. There are good reasons to lie.
Well, Dave
someone's
Chappelle
life.
has a
That's
great
good goddamn reason.
If your missus ever says, "Does my ass look big in this?" you lie.
That's right. Or if a woman, the guy asks the wife, "Am I big enough?" She goes, "Yes, you're more big enough."
Well, and the other point, a point to be made here is that Ray is allegedly a Christian, but that's not what the Bible says. It doesn't say it's wrong to lie. The Ten Commandments say, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." That's not the same as lying, which many Christians have pointed out when you get to this lying crap that Ray Comfort does.
Right,
Well,
and you know what? The thing is, what if the guy's not even my neighbor? I can lie to him. Therefore, I can lie to him.
Well, like, it's interesting because our society functions a large bit in lying, and I'm not saying that there should be more lying. That I think there should be less lying, but Dave Chappelle has a great bit where he's a great stand-up comic, and he has a great bit where he talks about how white people and black people should be a little bit more out in the open, but within limits. Like, he couldn't imagine walking up to some white guy going, "Hey, you white oppressor, you rapist of Africa, what are you wearing that suit because you just enslaved another native people and the slaves against their land?" He goes, "Well, my big-lipped spear-chucking friend, you know." And they go into this huge exchange over it, and it's like, within limits, that would get to be a little much after a while.
Yeah, exactly. It would be way too much. I mean, yes, you know, everybody lies, and Ray Comfort is a big fucking liar, and he acts like he's not a fucking liar. You know, oh, I'm better than everybody else, but yet I'm going to be completely dishonest and screw things around, but I'm a Christian, so therefore, no matter what I do, God forgives me, so it doesn't matter if I lie or not. What a fucking load of crap he is.
Of lies.
A liar?
And again, what does fucking evolution have to do with lying directly? I mean, absolutely nothing. I mean,
I'm a liar.
You ever stolen something in your whole life, even if it's small?
Yes, I have.
Okay, here's another fucking stupid-ass point. He's making, oh, you're stealing shit. What if you have to steal to survive? I mean,
What
even
if
in
you've
the
never
Bible.
stolen anything?
What's that?
What if you've never stolen anything? That's the
Yeah,
type
what if
of
you've
thing
never
where I
stolen
know
anything?
people have never stolen anything.
Yeah, then he'd say, "Oh no, you're a liar because you're a person. You've never stolen anything." Right? Sure, you haven't. So he'd automatically declare you a liar. So it doesn't matter even if you hadn't. He'd still say, "Oh no, you're lying." So he's just an idiot.
Taking something belonged to someone else.
Of course.
Sure.
Yes, I have.
I wonder, is stealing a kiss the same thing?
It's called theft. So what are you?
A liar and a thief. I'm a liar and a thief.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Oh, every day.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Oh, all the time.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Another bullshit that has nothing to do with fucking evolution.
It's probably so.
Have you ever used God's name in vain?
Yep. I have indeed.
It's called blasphemy. It's very serious to use God's name as a cuss word.
Oh, fuck! You know, first off, again, it has nothing to do with evolution. Okay.
Well,
secondly, he says, and then he goes, you'll hear it in a minute, he says that, you know, because it's a law, he says that he claims it's a law, that, you know, just because you don't know the law, that means I just can't go out and break other laws, you know, and shit like that. It's like, first of all, blasphemy is a crime, a supposedly crime against a person or a thing that there's no proof of evidence. If I say fuck the tooth fairy, does that hurt the tooth fairy's fucking feelings? Really?
You know, I like to think I have a pretty thick skin, but it amazes me how sensitive God is about these things.
Oh yeah.
Because like I regularly tell my friends, and again maybe this is a function of where I'm from, but I regularly will tell them to go fuck themselves or say something like that, and like things that would be like you would say like are insults, but we just do that because that's what we do. Like, and another note on blasphemy, if Ray's wife has never used the Lord's, or Ray or his wife has never used the Lord's name in vain, I think we have an understanding why this guy is holding a...
Oh, God!
How on earth did he get 3 kids?
Well,
Ray! Oh, Ray!
God assumed there is
Hooray!
Probably,
Hooray!
yes!
Yeah.
It's over!
Well, I can just imagine me, like someone going, "Oh, Sam, all right, you're gonna need to stop with that. That's a little too personal right now."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And she said, "Oh, you're so good. You're so good." And then he opens up with the, "Have you ever told a lie?"
Maybe he's afraid to ask that question just then.
That is what.
I wonder if she turns around and said, "Have you ever taken something? Have you ever taken something and then take me from behind, big boy?" Oh God! Oh God! Oh!
See, we're just evil, immoral atheists.
Did you know that actually? Did you notice in that clip that was just played how enthusiastic all the atheists were to turn around and say, "Yep, sure have. Oh, yep."
Yep.
Well, this is why I don't trust people who have never. One of my friends who's a comedian, he had a joke where he was saying, he said, "I don't trust people who aren't confident without alcohol," and I kind of feel the same way with this line of questioning. Where if you haven't done enough sinning, I don't know if I trust your judgment because you haven't fucked up enough.
Right. You know, there's an old joke that says, I don't drink, smoke, or swear. God damn, I left my cigarettes at the bar. You know, next to my drink. Same kind of thing.
Don't believe in certain laws and still violate them. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we're still guilty even though we deny a law exists or we even don't know about it. One to go, and I appreciate you.
First of all, he's saying, well, you're denying this law. No, it's a religious law. Religious laws and laws that are on the books are completely different things, because laws on the books have to be followed because we put them together as a society to function. Laws against God, we can blaspheme against God all we want because it's not going to stop fucking society. If I say fuck God, is that going to make my car crash through a sign into another car? Fuck no. If I fail to stop and I disobey that law, I could run into another car. That could cause damage to them or myself. Not the fucking same thing. Not at all.
Honesty, Jacob. Jesus
I'm getting angry just watching this video.
You commit adultery with her in your heart. Have you ever looked at a woman with lust?
Why, yes, I look at many women with lust in my heart.
Of course.
Stop!
Have you ever looked at a guy with lust?
Stop! That was PZ Myers. That was PZ Myers.
Yes, he was.
That was PZ Patriarchy Myers turning around and saying how he's looked. I want to know just how pissed Rebecca Watson is at him for that.
And the thing is, though, I mean, first of all, Laura, let's just assume for just 2 seconds here, and only 2 seconds, that God existed. He puts all these desires in our body to look at the opposite sex so we could proliferate, okay? But then he turns around and says, but don't look at those other sexes because it's bad. Okay, that's enough to make anybody pull their fucking hair out, okay?
Well, I love that.
I want you to look there, but don't look there.
Well, like, I love the fact that I love the fact that it's like equivalent. If lusting after someone is the equivalent of having sex with them, I've had a lot of sex in my life.
Oh, so same here. I mean, then I'm getting laid every fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah, like it's not like it's just stupid. It is what it is because I don't see. if I think about something, if I think about punching Ray Comfort in the face, that's one of those things where I lust after that action, and I want it to actually be the case.
I'm thinking.
This is basically thought police. This is basically thought police to him. It's fucking bullshit, and absolutely has nothing to do with evolution.
With lust?
Lust.
Oh, yeah. I have indeed.
Is he having sex outside of marriage?
No, not yet.
Are you looking at pornography?
Yeah.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with fucking pornography. It actually studies prove that countries that are allowed to look at pornography, and it actually brings the crime rate sexual crime rates down. Other countries, like say, I don't know, Iraq and Iran, they're not allowed to look at pornography. The rape culture there is enormous because they get all pent up and they go out and they rape women.
See,
but it's the women's fault because I guess their veils are too sexy still.
Hey man, pupils turn me on.
Hey baby, I love your pupils.
They like their presents wrapped.
Oh, that's horrible.
I like mine unwrapped so I can see what I'm getting.
Lusting after women, of course. Have you ever looked at a woman with lust?
Absolutely.
So, Peter, by your own admission, you're a lying thief, a blasphemer, and an adulterer at heart. And that's only 4 of the 10 Commandments.
Fuck the 10 Commandments! You can take the goddamn 10 Commandments and shove them up his ass. Besides, there's not 10 Commandments, 210 Commandments. Does he follow the other?
613.
Is it 613? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
613 Commandments. Does he follow all those commandments? I'm willing to bet you Ray doesn't follow half of them, or even 10 of them, for that matter.
Just not believing in hell doesn't make it go away. A judge must...
Oh, but not believing in hell doesn't make it go away. Okay, not believing in unicorns doesn't make the unicorn go away either. Let's make the same case.
And believing in it doesn't make it exist.
Yes. Exactly, that's a perfect point. Just because you believe in it doesn't mean it exists either. I believe I have $1 million in my bank account. Evidence? Oh, well, I can't give you evidence.
Judge, and it's the same with God. If we die in our sins, God will give us justice. The Bible says no thief, no liar, no fornicator, no blasphemer, no adulterer will inherit the kingdom of God. So, Julia, if you died in your sins and God gave you justice because he's holy...
I've seen in God's justice in the Bible. It's fucking bullshit. I wouldn't accept justice from God if it was covered in money.
Oh. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And right. Ray makes how many thousand a year?
Oh, exactly. So he's... exactly, that's an excellent point.
I hate that to happen to you.
Why isn't he donating it to charities? Huh, Ray? I know he's not watching, but Ray, why aren't you donating all this money to charities? Why aren't you walking around like a pauper? Huh?
Man, would you sell one of your eyes for $1 million?
Probably not, no.
Both for $100 million?
No, I value seeing too much.
So see how precious your eyes are to you, how much more precious is your life. And you're saying, I don't care if I get damned from all that which is good. Of course.
First of all, he can't prove that anybody's going to get damned. That's another bullshit lie they push on people. They're trying to prove something that after you die, you're going to be burned forever. Evidence. Bring me some fucking evidence that's going to happen. Otherwise, it's all in your fucking little mind.
He'll probably find a meme for that.
Yeah, probably.
Something you know intuitively. You know that creation is proof of the Creator. God.
No, it's not. That's like saying watches are proof of watches.
It's given you that light.
Proof of Creator.
Yes, we do.
We don't,
I have
actually.
an inside story. I have a whistleblower, and it tells me that you know God exists.
Sighton, Brun, and Gary.
Do I even need to explain on this one?
And the reason you choose evolution is because
let's continue.
Okay.
Evolution.
More accountability.
It does. It means your primal instincts, lust and pornography and fornication, adultery, all just primal instincts. That's all. You're just an animal. The Bible demands moral accountability and says those things are wrong, and that's.
Moral accountability from the Bible? Has he ever fucking read the Bible? I want to bet you he hasn't. If he's just cherry picking.
Why it's not acceptable to you? That's why you're not seeking after truth. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yes.
The creation is in a light. So when you look at the genius of God's creative hand, you know he exists because of creation. You are a unique human being, made in the image of God with a sense of justice and truth and righteousness. God gave you a conscience. It's inherent and shaped by society, but
Except
it's
if you're a
inherent.
sociopath.
Right. Law, and I don't want you to end up in hell. James, if you put your finger on it and see if we can, your struggle at the moment is because of your love of sin. Because of the...
Oh, I love sin now. Oh, we love sin now. You know, another religious concept.
This just sounds so wrong. As we're listening to it without seeing the video, it just sounds so wrong. Put your finger on it. Put your finger on it. Now, that just...
Put your finger on my sin. Woohoo!
That's sin. That's sin. Is that?
And then we talked about this on my show. Sin is another of those religious concepts because somebody doesn't like what you're doing, so let's name it a sin. You know,
well, it's one of those things where if you make it sacred, there's something that crosses it. For example, I was having a discussion with someone earlier on Skype where I was explaining, you know, among other things, why it's a woman's right to choose, not a man's right to choose, which I think we all here agree with. And I was explaining, and he kind of curled back a little bit when I said something like, when I said there's what part of my argument was that, listen, like there are times when you don't know who the father is through no fault of anyone. You know, let's say that a girl gets raped or that she has sex with 2 different guys in a weekend. You know, and someone curls back because we made this deviancy something sacred. And it's demonstrably damaging, especially in situations like that where, you know, any guy can go out and have sex with anyone. Look at the Bible for evidence of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if a woman even, you know, just thinks about having sex with a guy, she's labeled as a whore. How is that even remotely fair?
It's slut shaming. It's slut shaming. I've had to stop my own daughters from doing it a couple times, and a few people I know, I say, hey, you know, you're basically slut shaming them, you know, and it's like it's right now it's ingrained in our society, and that comes from all the way back. You know, they're whores, they're sluts, they're prostitutes, you know, they're women of the evening, just because they enjoy sex. Well, gosh, aren't they supposed to enjoy sex too? Oh, or not? Or they're just there to be something to have sex with and then just throw in the closet like a dirty towel. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. They're human beings. They can enjoy sex just as much.
Pleasure that sin gives you, and you don't want to give it up. You're like a man with a money belt filled with gold who's just fallen into the ocean. And I'm saying, if you don't get rid of that belt that weighs 80 pounds, it's going to take you under. It doesn't matter how much pleasure it gives you, it's not worth losing your life for. Gail, you're not a beast. You are a human being created by God in his image with dignity and worth and purpose. And do you know what God did for guilty sinners so we wouldn't have to go to hell? Any idea?
No.
Oh, jeez.
These are the dumbest motherfuckers on earth.
Do you know that God died for your sins? Well, then hell, I better get sinning because otherwise God died for nothing.
Well, here's the thing is that Doug Stanhope, who's one of my favorite comics, made a great joke. He's like, well, how does one thing relate to I died for your sins? I kicked myself in the face for your mortgage. How does one thing relate to the other? And then the other part of the joke was that he goes, why would you die for someone's sins? Your sins are what make you interesting. Like,
that's right.
It's like, how about this? You go preach about what you enjoy, and then he'll go talk about that time that he kick-fucked a girl with cerebral palsy. See who draws a crowd. And even Jesus on a cross will hop across and go, oh, these stories are fascinating. Why did I die for these? That's basically how I feel about Jesus died for your sins.
That's hilarious.
Let's see if I can find that on YouTube, but I'll link it.
Please send me that link. Send me that link. That is hilarious.
You and I violated
one of the
God's
funniest
law
things I've ever heard.
Fine. That means God can legally dismiss our case because of the suffering, death, and resurrection of the Savior. God can say you're out of here because someone paid you a fine.
Oh, bullshit! Okay, I'm in court. Okay. Judge goes, okay, I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to send you to prison for, for 10,000 years because you had a bad park, you parked in the wrong spot. But if you if you say, hey, I'll accept it, or I'll accept your son, then I'll bring my son out here and I'll beat the fuck out of him and kill him right here in front of you, just so you can, go along your way. What the fuck is that got to do with anything? How's that going to absolve me of what I did? Doesn't do anything. If I parked in the wrong spot, I parked in the wrong spot. It's my fault, my responsibility. They put their Jesus out there like, oh, he's a doorstop. He's gonna stop all the bad stuff from hitting at you. No, I'm responsible for my own shit. Fuck your deities. Ugh. Anybody else got any comment on that before I tear my hair out?
did he say that you're legally free to go? He does. He says like he does say the word legally there.
Yeah.
Try that in front of a fucking
judge. He's been
judge.
challenged sometime before by people he wouldn't let go.
Yeah. I'll try that in court. I'll go to a court and say, but Jesus died for his sin, so therefore he's able to go. What is that? I'd like to know what defense that holds up in.
Go on, get it going.
What God can now do is clothe us in the righteousness of Christ. So on Judgment Day, you're saved from God's wrath and His justice because of the death and resurrection of the Savior. If you repent and trust in Him, God will give you a righteous for your sins in an instant. He'll grant you the gift of everlasting life. His last words on the cross were,
"Get me off this fucking cross!"
Actually, there's some contradictions on that. What he actually said. The last thing he said on the cross. He didn't just say that. There's also "it is finished." That's one of them. And
forgive them, for they know not what they do. Right?
Yeah, forgive them, for they know not what they do. There's like 3 or 4 different things he supposedly said on the cross. I actually have this on my YouTube channel over at Packard Pokes At. Look for the playlist of Bible contradictions, and that's one of them right there. It shows. There's like 3 different sayings there of what he supposedly said on the cross when he was killed. And there's none of them anywhere look like the other ones at all. And Matthew didn't even say anything about it at all, as far as I know. I mean, I could be wrong. I know it's one of the 3 there. Anyway, let me get back to the plane.
So because our fine was paid by another, God can legally dismiss your case.
Oh, there he goes. He said legally.
Someone would be willing to pay off the debts that's not his own.
The Bible says God is love.
Yes.
And He's.
Oh, God is love, except for all the the killing he tells everybody to do. Just that part.
He's aggressively loving you.
He's aggressively loving you to death.
It's like one of those wife.
Hug him and squeeze him and cover him and call him George.
He loves you the same way that like a wife beater from Oklahoma loves his wife. Just, I love you so hard.
I love you.
What's the matter? Haven't you heard of tough love?
Isn't making aggressive love called rape or BDSM?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's kind and generous and
he's kind and generous.
Great kindness. He became a human being and suffered for us.
He came a human being and suffered for us. Fuck that. Why didn't he just forgive? Why did he have to go through the whole goddamn thing? Oh, well, I got to come down and die and to appease myself for something, for a set of rules that I set up. Oh, yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. Really? That just...
Sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
How old are you?
This is the third part now.
22.
When are you going to die?
I have no idea.
Oh, God knows when you're going to die. He looks on the bottom of your foot and he's got a rubber stamp. You're going to die on October 4th, 1927. What the fuck?
The concept of a creepy-looking man with a mustache holding a microphone coming up to you while you sat there on a park bench sitting around and saying, "When are you going to die?"
When are you going to die? I don't know how much... I know when you're going to die if you get about 2 inches closer. I'm going to pull up my Magnum. I'm going to shoot you in the face. Which will be about 30 seconds from now if you don't move away from me.
I was looking at a at Venom Fang X's most recent video today because I hate myself, and I was looking at it, and he was proselytizing with Eric Hovind on the streets. Guess where? Seaside Heights on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, the Jersey Shore. Oh, there you go.
And like there were a bunch of people. It's like, do you believe in God? It's like I don't really want to talk about that, man. And like, it's just the saddest fucking thing that I've ever seen in my life. This is what this reminds me of.
Jeez, it really is. It is really that sad.
And it could be tonight, could be tomorrow. I'm not using scare tactics. This is just straight.
Oh, I'm not using scare tactics. You could die tonight. You could die tomorrow. But I'm not using scare tactics.
It's like the guy where he says, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. In fact, actually, I've got a meme on that one. Where is it? I've got one of those. Let me find it.
Every 24 hours die. And they're all making plans for next week, no doubt. So,
what does that fucking prove? I can make plans tomorrow and get nailed by a truck coming out of my driveway. Doesn't mean shit. Anybody can make plans. The people who are about to die, they'll make plans. They go, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to eat my Jell-O. Oh, no, I guess I don't get to eat the Jell-O. You know, I plan to eat the Jell-O, but I guess I don't get to eat the Jell-O. Making plans doesn't prove, and again, nothing to do with evolution. Absolutely nothing to do with evolution.
Please think about this. Do you have a Bible at home?
No.
I'm not talking about a religion.
I love that meme you got on there.
Strive to get to heaven. I'm telling you, the Bible says heaven is a free gift of God. You cannot earn everlasting life.
Wait a minute. Stop. I gotta stop. It's a free gift, except for if you decide not to, if you decide not to accept God, then it's not a gift anymore. Okay, then it's not free. There's anything. If there's all right, maybe I'm getting too excited here. Anything that's got strings attached is not free. If you have to believe in something to accept it, it's not free. That's a string. If you just say, hey, if you walk up to a bum on the street, say, hey, here's $20 and walk away, no strings attached, that means he doesn't have to say, hey, I'm going to give you $20, but you got to give me a blowjob first. You know, that's a string. It doesn't matter what the string is. You know, you got to go and shoot somebody in the face with a bazooka for the $20. But you know, that's still a string. It doesn't matter if it's something little or big. It's just a string. If God had come along and said, hey, you know, you're going to get into heaven just for being, you went through life and you breathed. I'd still think that would be some kind of a string, but it'd be very minor. And I think everybody could accomplish it.
How religious you are, how good you are, God commended his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. And then he rose from the dead and defeated death. And this is how the Bible...
He rose from the dead, defeated death. Okay, apparently forgot about Lazarus, you know.
And all the zombies that resurrected in Jerusalem, and all the saints that came and conversed with all the people of the town.
Yep, all them too. Whoops, I hit the wrong window here. I got the window in front of me here. Oops, sorry about that, everybody. Hold on a minute. There we go.
For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it's the gift of God, not of works, lest any man boast. So eternal life is a free gift of God, and it comes because of God's mercy, not because of anything we do. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Really? The Bible, I've been reading the Bible every day for more than 40 years. There's no mistakes in it, Mike. Any mistakes?
No mistakes in the Bible! I've been reading it for 40 years. There's another argument from authority. I know all about the Bible. There's no mistakes there. You have to take my word for it. Okay. All right. Sure. I'll just take your word for it. You're some creepy guy in the street with a weird mustache, but I'm just going to take your word for it. I don't know you from Shinola, but hey, I'm just going to take your word for it because you said it. Oh, by the way, I also say I've got a unicorn in my pants. Do you believe me too?
Do you want to see it?
You want to see it?
This isn't science books that tell you you're a primate. You trust and believe that. So how much more should you trust a God who cannot lie? Let me show you how fallible we are. Spell the word shop.
Shop?
Oh. Shop. What do you do when you come to a green light?
Stop.
Green light.
Oh.
Oh, that's oh, now he's playing the like. That's like saying, oh well, what do you just say milk, milk, milk several times? What do cows drink? And then you might say milk, and it's like, no, they drink water, you know. But but you come to a green light. What do? You go, you know. It's he's playing the word games again.
No. He is pointing out to the intelligent people that the people that he's interviewing are morons.
Yeah, too. That too.
Fallible, we make mistakes. So imagine if you're making a mistake when you say this whole of creation came together because some explosion.
Well, what if he's making a mistake? What if he's wrong? You know, Dawkins put it best. He's like he said, you know, he answered that question. I've seen it. It was done in a South Park video. It's like, well, what if you're wrong? What if you're just like, well, you don't believe in God? What if you're wrong? He said, what if I don't believe in the Hare Krishna God or the Zeus God or the other gods? What if I'm wrong about those? You know, it doesn't matter. If let's say I believe in God, the Christian God, but it actually the Hindu God was right, then I'm fucked that way too. So all the way around, I'm gonna be fucked either way. Doesn't fucking matter, does it?
Of nothing that produced everything, seasons, the birds, the trees, the flowers, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the marvels of the human bodies. Are you going to think about this?
Oh yeah, no, I think about this quite a lot. Believe me, my brother, like I said, he's a hardcore Christian. He's going to Yale Divinity School right now, so he talks to me about this all the time.
So you've got to think seriously about this. Life is full of decisions. Soften your heart. Faith in what science tells you, and it's left you without any knowledge of what was in the beginning anyway. You haven't got a clue where you come from. You don't know what you're doing here on Earth, and you don't know what happens after you die. Peter, could you be wrong about God's existence?
God's existence?
No.
Well, then I think you're rather close-minded.
Well, if I said to you, could you be wrong about your wife's existence? You'd say, no, I know her. You'd say, don't be ridiculous. I know her and love her. And I know the Lord, and I love the Lord, and He transformed my life 41...
No! Does anybody else want to take a stab at this before I tear my eyeballs and my ears out?
Is Ray saying that Jesus gives him blowjobs and lets him take him from behind?
Your wife's not real because you only believe she's real. No, I can actually go out and touch her. That's
inappropriately.
I can prove she's real. I can prove it. I can put her in your face right now. Show me your God. Show me your Jesus. Show me anything, you know, show me your Jesus. Bring him here.
Well, like, I like when he just says this kind of stuff, like, do you have faith in your wife? You know what, go fuck yourself. You're a terrible person for, like, to bring that kind of thing into, like it's as if it was very similar to when I was talking with someone, and I think I had let slip earlier in the conversation that I enjoy drinking. That is something that I very much enjoy. I'm by no stretch an alcoholic, but I like to go out and have a few beers, you know? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And this guy just basically called me a drunk with terrible, you know, a drunk who makes terrible decisions, and that's why I was alone. And it was something along those lines. It's like, it's kind of like, go fuck yourself. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about, and B, that's just not acceptable to say to anyone.
Right. Exactly. I understand that. That's just, he's just spinning his wheels at this point. But it's still, and the fact is, it has nothing to do with evolution. He went from evolution to believing in God. You know, I don't know.
20 years ago, instantly, overnight, forgave my sins and gave me new desires when I had no desires or thoughts of God for the whole 22 years before I was a Christian. Mike, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shop? Like S-H-O-P? S-H-O-P?
What do you do when you come to a green light?
You stop.
Green light. Green light.
Oh. Very good.
You go. Peter, you've been a good sport. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Okay.
I generally don't engage creationists because it's not good for my blood pressure.
I think about it a lot, actually. Like I think about death and how fragile life is, and how just in a second it could all be over and there'd be nothing.
You know, the problem with those who are unable to see evolution, I think, is they don't have imaginations.
Anatomical clues to human evolution from fish.
Human beings are still fish.
Human ears evolved from ancient fish gills.
We came out of the ground as a mammal.
Heavier dinosaur arms led evolution to birds.
Do you think we're related to pigs? Do you think we've got a common ancestor in pigs?
Yes.
Proof that fearsome T-Rex evolved into a chicken.
Do you think you're a primate?
Yes, I am.
Are you a talking primate?
I am.
Are you a cousin of bananas?
Why, yes.
When whales walked the land.
I'm accepting that they did their science correctly.
Okay, he's asked about the thing about the bananas. Yes, we actually are. We do have a relationship with bananas. We actually have there's DNA we share with bananas. If we couldn't fucking eat them. That fucking simple.
I generally trust the scientific community.
I'm going to trust what those experts did. Those experts came up with.
Darwinian evolution rests on faith, and once again, according to Richard Dawkins, faith is the great cop-out, the great excuse to evade the need to think and evaluate evidence. Darwinian evolution requires great faith. The knowledge of God, however, is clearly seen by all mankind.
Yeah, I don't
Since the
understand.
creation of this invisible attribute.
What's that? Go
I don't
ahead.
understand this. Like, I don't understand when they say, okay, they say that the atheist has faith or whatever, and they say it takes a lot of faith to believe in evolution.
Right.
Are they somehow insinuating that faith is a bad thing? Like,
He's trying to put faith into the context of believing without evidence.
right, but well, I know, but even grant their premise. You know, they said that okay, if you have more faith than a mustard seed, you can move mountains, right? Are they saying that okay, all these atheists who believe in evolution have such great faith? I mean, he said it himself. Great faith. Is it not great to be the size of a mustard seed, or what are they trying to insinuate? They're trying to say, oh, atheists don't like faith, so you have faith. Ha 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 ha. I don't get it. I don't understand what the fucking. I don't get it. Like, it seems like they pull the rug out from under their own fucking feet.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just he uses the faith argument. Like I said, you weren't here at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the show, but he's using faith basically as a escape word, basically, so try to prove that we're believing without evidence, and that's just not the truth. You know, we can have faith, like I said before, we can have faith in something because of the evidence around it. You know, and the fact.
Like I said, even grant his premise. Like, just grant his fucking premise. So what? So even if we have faith,
okay.
So what? And then what is he gonna fucking say? Well, you can't have faith in that. Well, that's not right to have faith in. How the fuck would you know? If it's faith, you don't need evidence to support your fucking belief. So how would you know if your belief is right? You have nothing to work on. So even if my belief is a faith-based position, you have nothing to persuade me with.
I think we're over-analyzing this. I've been promising this all the way through. How close to the end are we? We're not far.
We're getting close. We're getting real close to it. I'm not sure exactly how much time we've got left here.
I'd say we're over-examining things, and I will explain why.
Okay, here, let's just finish this out real quick.
Attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even as eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools.
Thank you for taking the time to watch Evolution versus God. If you'd like to get more information about our ministry,
I'm not going to give them any. I'm not going to give them any.
Right.
Any
that's
free
really
time.
the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end.
The rest is just ads.
Yeah, the rest of it just ads. I'm not going to. Yeah, then we're done basically. I'm not going to.
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to give them any press.
What we've just watched is not intended for us. Ray Comfort knows his market, and we are not it. Atheists don't buy his books, don't buy his DVDs, and all the other shit because we think he's an arsehole. We think he's a lying bastard and a con man, right? People like us are not the target market. What that video that you've just watched is intended for is supposed to appeal to the evangelicals that have set up tables outside universities, bus stations, railway stations, and walk around with signs in the city centres. It's entirely intended for them. That is designed to be given out to somebody who's never going to watch it. Right. Never going to watch it, right? But the thing is, Ray sells those at $2 each. Okay, you can buy it for $20 on from his website. In 2 weeks' time, he's going to be giving it away for free on the internet. What he wants are evangelicals, church groups who are putting hundreds, thousands of dollars into baskets every Sunday to put some of that money into buying his DVD by the thousand, so that they can just be given out, right? Now, evangelicals are not going to start handing stuff out if any of that, what's on that DVD, disagrees with their worldview, right? Think about it. This is supposed to be given to students who are paying tens of thousands of dollars a year for their university education. Do you think they're honestly going to that a free DVD worth $2 handed to them by some fucking fruitcake in a t-shirt is actually going to change their mind?
My mind with this little DVD.
It's, oh yeah, thanks, dude. I'm like $120,000 in debt because of my university education, but you know, I've watched your $2 DVD and it's changed my mind. I'm going to become a monk. It's not going to happen, right?
Right.
We assume, the thing is, it is deliberately inflammatory, right? So that people like you, like me, like everybody that's watching this now, will get we'll just get angry about it. Ray's trolling, right?
This is basically trolling, yeah.
It'll kick up a fuss, and then he'll be able to turn around and put in a week or fortnight's time, on WorldNet Daily on the Christian Newswire, atheists are outraged because of the proof given by Ray Comfort. There's no proof there. There's no proof there. He's using the word kind. Yeah, he uses the word kind because and that kind of language because that is the language that his intended audience understands. His intended market understands that. The evangelical fruitcakes that are giving this shit out, that are quite happy to pay $20 for 10, right? They are the ones that he's aiming at.
Right. Yeah, because he's using language that he thinks that they'll understand because it's. I hate to say this, but they're dumbing it down. They're putting it at the intelligence level of a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old.
I don't know that they're unintelligent so much as
I don't mean it's stupid like that. I mean I'm talking less educated. I don't mean stupid. I mean less educated.
Well, what student watches that? What student watches that and thinks, "Oh yeah, they got a point"? Seriously.
No one with any critical mind. I mean, obviously, if his goal was to convince people, he would have gone the way of the Discovery Institute when they were founded. But, you know, he knows that model doesn't work for making money because everyone knows that those guys are idiots.
Right.
The people who buy his shit don't think he's idiots. They think he's wonderful. That's why he turns over $3.5 million a year.
Right. All right, listen, guys. We've been going for 2.5 hours here. We're gonna have to wrap this up. Let's get last-minute comments. Sam, why don't you go first? I think you went last on the way in. Why don't you go first on the way out? So, last thoughts on this?
I think Ray Comfort is an extraordinary case of idiocy, and he makes me ashamed to be a human sometimes. And in my tradition with the Line Ghost show, even though Strife isn't here, he would really want me to. I'm going to end with a hip-hop lyric. And I don't know, should I repeat it? Or should I repeat one that I've said before?
I know I'm hosting the show tonight. You go ahead.
Well, as Strife always enjoys me quoting a hip-hop song, I think I gotta, I gotta quote one. Let me think. What am I gonna say? Let's go with Ludacris. I'm the newest thing in town, like white women with ass.
Okie dokie. Paul?
I would say that just basically to round off what I just said a moment ago, that what we've just watched is Ray has come to the conclusion that he can just put any old shit on a DVD, and as long as he says Jesus enough, and have you told a lie, have you ever stolen, have you ever looked at porn, then he as far as he's concerned, he's done his job. And his target market, the people who are actually going to buy that shit, the evangelicals that like to go and evangelize using this shit, who will buy it, he's going to get rich. He's going to have another bumper year this year. But to the rest of us, to the people who are getting this shit handed to us, we'll never watch it, we'll never read it, and we're certainly sure as hell won't take it serious. And unfortunately, the people who are paying for this shit, they just don't realize it.
Yeah, they're being sheeple. They're just being fed what they think what they want, what they believe. You know, it's just they're not thinking. They're just like, oh, here it is, and just eat it up. Jade, last
comment. It was another disappointing result from Ray Comfort. Although I shouldn't be disappointed by this time, because as I pointed out, he makes the same damn movie over and over again, and it's not even a movie. It's 35 freaking minutes long. That's not a movie.
No.
How much work is it to go get a bunch of interviews, cut it up into the ones you want, add a bunch of nonsense, and then slap it on a DVD?
Right.
He's, whatever he gets paid for these things is way too much for the effort that he's put into it. About all I have to say. Utter nonsense.
Absolutely. And he puts this whole thing on, you can't lie or whatever, but there's a line from Billy Joel, I'm going to say it right now, only the good die young. So, and if you're not sinning enough, your God died for nothing. So, but anyway, I appreciate everybody coming, and I think Great Comforts is full of shit, and anybody who thinks that he's telling them the truth, go and have your head examined. Stick your head in the X-ray, and then have them smash it down on top of it. Then you might be somewhere close to the reality then. But anyway, one last thing here. If you want to catch my show, it's Friday nights on vonlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. Friday nights, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock California time, Pacific time rather. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming. We'll catch you next time. This has been the Lying Ghost Show.